Yeah. Party people, let me see you now. Throw your hands up, yeah. We got the good rhymes, we're making the good times. We're taking over your mind and we're getting the good vibes. Now you're telling me don't stop the melody. Good times ahead of me, yeah. We got the good rhymes, we're making the good times. We're taking over your mind and we're getting the good vibes. Now you're telling me don't stop the melody. Good times ahead of me, yeah. We got the yeah. Party people, let me see you now. Throw your hands up. We got the good rhymes, we're making the good times. We're taking over your mind and we're getting the good vibes. Now you're telling me don't stop the melody. Good times ahead of me, yeah. We got the good rhymes, we're making the good times. We're taking over your mind and we're getting the good vibes. Now you're telling me don't stop the melody. Good times ahead of me, yeah. We got the good rhymes, we're making the good times. We're taking over your mind and we're getting the good vibes. Now you're telling me don't stop the melody. Good times ahead of me, yeah. We got the good rhymes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's stream. It is Dr. Doomscroller catching live vibe. Is this your first time? Welcome in. Grab a seatbelt. Welcome, everybody. It is 7/6/2026. We are live, preemptively throwing tomatoes. I will help you do that. Today, we are my voice is sounding a little better, but I still have like a fry that I don't usually have. Good morning. This intro, hello. If you are new here, if you are new here, welcome to That's My Opinion. My name is Bacon Bears, where we talk about true crime and accountability and all that stuff. Thank you. If you are new here and you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. We go live almost every day. I'll go live every day when my kids are back at school. And when my kids are back in school, I am also going to add long form again. If you don't like the if the live vibe is not your thing, I have long form videos. Hello to everybody in the chat. I see you always. Lurkers too. You know, I get so many people in my DMs that are like, hey, I don't normally chat. That's okay. Lurkers make the world go round. It's perfectly fine. If it is not like on you to chat in the chat, don't. No pressure. No pressure. Hello. Yes, I will be getting back to long form videos. I just need the time to do it. So once I get my kids back in school, there is going to be a lot more content coming, I promise. Also, Plan B, if you are in the replay crew, please put a little, sunshine emoji in the chat. But I do want to tell you that I thought I was going to go down to 3 days a week because of the babysitter. I just talked to the babysitter today. I will be able to go live Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday. So anyways, but I'm going to get it back. As soon as the kids go back to school, I have 8 hours a day for content only, which means y'all are in trouble because that's just going to give me more time online. Hello. Okay, so today I'm going to go through, we're going to go through some of the things, but I think I'm going to save the last hour or so. Jack put out his note from a stranger. He put out his video, Jack Fox of Never a Truer Word. He put out his video about the napkin lady. So, I want to go through that. I thought that I would ask you guys if you guys wanted to go through it with me as well. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yes, Plan B on a low stream. That's what. So 2 live crew is what people are called in the live stream, in the chat. And then Plan B is what people are called in the replay crew. Hey, thank you for that corgi. That corgi's so freaking cute. I love it. Hello, Nikki, Wendy, Minnie T, Purposeless People, Morak, Hound, Jupiter, Bruce, Seamus, RJ, Peachy, Marcy, Denise, Perjad, Vil, Marie, E Broccoli, Bella's mom. I'm just going. No thanks, I'm gay. All right. Oh, you are my beach entertainment. I love that. Hi, Jody. Hello, Jacob. Jacob. Hi, Ms. Wings. Busy Bee Pottery. Becca has thoughts. Co-independent. Yes. Blessed to have you. All right. With that being said, I am ready. It's Monday. I'm always excited on a Monday, friends. I'm always excited. What did I do over the weekend? I need to start putting in chapters, but we do a little typically like housekeeping on Monday morning. So this weekend we had 4th of July. It rained a lot, so we sat inside and we played blackjack, which is great. Had a lot of fun doing that. I learned how to play blackjack when I was 6 years old. When my uncle used to come in for the first time from Louisiana, he taught us all how to play blackjack. And at 6 years old, I used to play blackjack until 2 in the morning. So we did that. We had some fun. On the 4th, we got to watch some fireworks. And then on Sunday, I cleaned up my house and we went for a 3-mile walk with my son because my son is now obsessed with the forest. For those of you who don't know, I have an autistic 9-year-old son who's emerging verbal. And once we got up, because there's like this place that we go to that there's like a opening to the woods and there's like a bridge. He literally turns to me like the guy in Jurassic Park and he goes, "Welcome to the forest." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so, we did that. And, my poor baby has been begging to go back to school. And he is dying. He's dying. He's been asking for his teacher. He's been asking to go back to school. He's been asking for the bus driver. And I'm like, buddy, I'm sorry. I waited on camp. I didn't realize you have to sign these kids up for summer camp in July in March. Okay? So, there's that. I see it in the chat. We're going to start with a go to trial song. Just so we can manifest at the top of the morning to ya. Because that's what we do. We tell Laura to go to trial. Laura Owens. Do it, do it. We believe you. Tell your story. Hi, IB. Go to trial. You're not a liar. We believe you. Yeah. Do it, do it. Hey, Laura Owens. Go to trial. We believe you. Everybody else is lying. God damn it, Bruce, shut up. Laura Owens, you can do it. We believe you. Oh, all right. Okay. All right, here we go. So today, and stream's going to be a little different. I vowed not to shit on Gingras too hard. We know that he's been going through a rough time, but we have gotten to the point in the story that we have gotten to David Gingras emails. I'm just going to read them as logically as possible. Also, I've been taking mini quizzes in my criminology course. It's been going really well. So, elbow coughs all around. We love it. Yes, no, he absolutely loves it, Stevie. He loves it. It's Monday Justice. God damn it, RJ, get out of my chat. Okay, so let's go here. So this is, where are we starting? We are starting at the fact that, okay. So, all right, let's go back a little bit. So we did the motion in Lemonade where she requests to strike everything. We went over her request to file a new restraining order. The hearing takes place, and the judge rules in favor of Laura Owens. We all know how we feel about that. Granting her a 5-year restraining order against Michael Marraccini. Boo, boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. And then the individuals, 5-4-24, individuals from the the UFC. I'm mixing JFC and UFC together. Yeah, my son is finding his words. The people need a pickle bet update. They got the sheets off in time. I was able to wash them. Does not smell like dills in my bed. Motion and Lemonade. Hello. After hours. So the JFC community launched a fundraiser to have Michael Marraccini's laptop forensically analyzed, raising over $3,600. In a video with Megan Fox and Dave Neal. All hail our Lord and Savior. And then we got to the David Gingras emails. Michael Marraccini's previous lawyer, or two, no, David Gingras emails Laura Owens' previous lawyer about the June 10th hearing, and that's where we're at right now. May Dave be with you all. So we know that Gingras has gone through some tough times lately. Usually for comedic relief, I would take this opportunity to completely shit on him. I don't really like him as a human, but I also don't enjoy a wounded opponent. So I'm just going to read through these, and I am going to give it logically. I'm going to ask that I know we all have very specific opinions about him in the chat. Let's just try to be more what's the word? Constructive criticism. And we'll shit on other people later, because that's what we do here. We shit. So anyways, okay, so Mike, please call me David. Just FYI, there's an ethical rule for lawyers that says I'm not allowed to communicate about a case directly with a represented party, meaning a person who is currently represented by a lawyer, unless I have consent from that person's lawyer. For those of all, hi, Jen. Yes, I know I need to get, I gotta ask Dave how he feels about me selling candles with his face on it. I don't it is fair to criticize his past filings and behavior. However, a lot of people like to have a good time on his behalf. So we can do that. We can absolutely criticize. That's true. God damn it. Why do I always forget this, RJ? Situation. Absolutely. There was a team of chat ready to catch a flight to clean up that pickle juice for you. We are weirdly committed to having your back. You are our favorite new pop star, Busy Bee. Thank you. Thank you. Justice for pickle juice. So if you are represented, a lawyer cannot reach out to you as a private party. Also, if you are represented, you're not necessarily supposed to talk to the other party. I did that when I was in litigation with my mom. She had a lawyer. I had a lawyer. And we were able to figure out some things behind we did sing already, but we'll do it at the end. We were able to figure out some things aside from our lawyers, but you're really not supposed to talk to the other party without your lawyers being involved. That limit only applies to discussions about the matter in which the person is represented. So, for example, if you were represented by a lawyer in a lawsuit involving a car accident, if I was the opposing lawyer, I could not speak directly with you about the car accident without your lawyer's permission, but I could still talk to you about something else, sports, weather, politics, etc. I have to tell you, I'm not talking to you. I don't know. I don't understand under what condition I would speak to somebody that was on my opposing counsel. I know that's a weird rule, but it's something I take seriously. I don't find it to be a weird rule at all. I don't. There should not be like indirect, off the record discussions if I have representation. There's a reason that I've hired representation. Go talk to them. Go talk to them. In this situation, it's not clear whether it's not clear to me whether anyone represents you with respect to Laura's case. I know Randy Sue Pollock previously represented you with respect to the CA order of protection stuff, which is resolved now. To my knowledge, she does not represent you with respect to the AZ case involving Laura and Clayton. I also don't think Greg Woodnick is representing you with respect to Laura's case. He has never claimed to be acting as your lawyer. So at this point, I think you are technically not represented with respect to Laura's case, but I am not 100% clear on this. It's entirely possible for a lawyer to represent you with respect to one thing, but not represent in something else. I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you just ask? Hi, Echoes. I don't understand why you wouldn't just ask and be like, do you have a lawyer for this case? This feels very backdoorsy to me. And not in the cool TR and B hole kind of way. It just feels it feels gross. it feels kind of slimy. Like he's trying to find loopholes to talk to Mike without going through Mike's legal representation. Hi Dana. So I don't like that. So to err on the side of caution, I need to make sure that if you are represented by anyone with respect to the AZ case, I have permission from your lawyer to talk to you about the AZ trial. Bearing in mind, I understand you don't want to talk at this point. If you are not represented, that's fine. I just need to know. I'm only mentioning this so you didn't think I was ignoring your comments below. I do want to respond, and I do want to encourage you to change your mind about talking to me. I promise it is not a big deal, but I just need to make sure you aren't represented by anyone first, since that hasn't been made clear by either Greg or Randy Sue. P.S. I removed that tweet from yesterday, and I'm happy to remove anything else if you ask. Gingras on Twitter during this whole trial, I was not there for any of this. I've only seen it secondhand, is one of the most unprofessional things I've ever seen in my entire life. I would be appalled if that was my lawyer. Hi, Zoe. I work with a lot of lawyers, often in litigation stuff, and basically all lawyers think all non-lawyers write floridly. They're paranoid about every word being read by a judge without context. 1,000 pages to say one paragraph. Yeah, they are all very long. Very long. I've come to notice that everyone, hi tax packet, everyone in this saga, every character in this story, every villain, I should say, is long-winded. Long-winded. What's another word for long? But just, hi Fletcher boy. Gingras, Jan, Laura, like these are the most long-winded people I've ever seen. Flip lawyer, non-lawyer in that. Okay. I get it. Verbose. Voluminous. Yes. Voluminous. It's just so many words, but verbose would be it. Yeah. Thank you, Jody. Mr. Gingras, this is from Mike. Greg Woodnick reached out to me and gave me your contact number because you have expressed a desire to speak to me. I want you to know that I was about to call you and tell you about my harrowing experience with Laura Owens and all the lies she told, including but not limited to lying about being pregnant with twins, telling me she had cancer, threatening suicide, and emotionally terrorizing me to coerce me into a relationship with her. But before I could pick up the phone, I saw that you tweeted out a photograph of me and Laura and audio from a radio show we did together from that traumatic time in my life. I cannot express to you how inappropriate and offensive that action was. You have accused me of fabricating evidence and lying, which led me to take my laptop directly to an expert for analysis. Here's the thing that I'll never understand about him. And I mean, this would be a question that I would want to ask him. I know I'll never ask him any questions. Don't worry, chat. But a question that I would want to ask him is, why would you think as a lawyer it's appropriate to put a picture of your opposition online and then make accusations and call names? Like, why? Your fight should always be in the courtroom. That's what you are for. You are a gladiator in a coliseum that is the courtroom. That's it. Like, it is it is not on you to fight for. Oh, can somebody explain to me what a hubris is? I don't know what hubris is. People say that a lot in this chat, and I don't know. She lied. Right. I don't know what hubris is. I'm not smart enough. I'm learning. Yeah, and it's witness intimidation. It's very personal. And I don't understand that. Hubris is extreme confidence. Thank you, Mac. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre thing. I had moved on with my life and had no interest in opening up old wounds that have so injured me, but you have made it impossible for me to sit quietly. You posted my deposition online to accuse me of lying, and you humiliated me purposefully. I deeply resent these allegations, which is why I decided to turn over my laptop as evidence in the Clayton Eckerd case against Laura. We both know that she sent those doctored medical records to me, and now you have the proof. I could not, in good conscience, remain quiet and watch Laura use the same playbook against another innocent man. I have decided that I will not speak with you on the phone. I will speak in the court of law on June 10th under oath, and I will tell the truth about the horrors that Laura visited on my life. Also, it is not, if somebody uh wants to have a deposition with you, you do not have to go. I found that out because I was covering this case, which I find so important. Um John with the big words today. I didn't realize that you don't have to go. Like if somebody's like, we're gonna, unless it's if it's an informal deposition. Who's in the chat? Another, where are you? Respawn? After hours respawn. I know you're a lawyer. It is my understanding that if it is a formal deposition, you have to go. But if it is informal, you do not have to show up. And I guess what is the difference between those two? Hubris is excessive pride, overconfidence, or arrogance. Describes a dangerous state of mind where believes they are invincible or above the rules. Well, yep, that sounds about right. Let me ask this question. Do you... Oh, After Hours isn't here. Okay. He was earlier to go to a deposition. Yes, if you are formally served with a legal subpoena or notice of deposition, you generally must comply. A deposition is a required out of court testimony given under oath. You can refuse or attempt to cancel or quash a deposition under specific circumstances. But I also know if somebody does not do a formal subpoena, you do not have to go. And that's what his lawyer had said. She was like, he's not coming. You didn't subpoena him. So if you wanted to talk to him, why didn't you subpoena him for a proper deposition? That's what I don't understand. Right. So he knew his testimony, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't. And that's the thing, is he's trying to paint it as he has a right to do that. And he doesn't. I mean, he does if he went through the proper channels. But other than that, hi DMT. But other than that, DMN. I don't know why I called you DMT. What the fuck is today? But if you don't go through the proper channels, then you can't be upset that he didn't show up. You may ask me any question you want, and I will answer with the whole truth. You do not understand or willfully refuse to accept how traumatizing my interaction with Laura Owens has been. She has destroyed my reputation and ruined background checks by taking out a fraudulent order of protection against me based on lies that have affected me personally and professionally. She accused me of horrific acts and domestic abuse that never happened. She fabricated medical evidence and held threats of suicide over my head to keep me locked in a relationship that was toxic and deeply disturbing. But perhaps the worst thing that you have done is to suggest that I should talk to Laura, which I also agree. Under no circumstances should anyone require should anyone require that you speak to your abuser? I don't understand why you would ask him to do that. Yeah, I know. He signs off all the best. That's great. Gave all the info he was required. Right. Right. The woman who attempted to and did in many ways destroy me. This is the same woman who continues to renew the false order of protection against me and pretends to be terrified I'll be in the same room as she. Why would someone so afraid of me want to speak with me and violate that order she insists she needs? What a great point, Michael. It's almost like there's logic. Almost. Hey, Melon!
Sorry, late fee, rose emoji.
You don't need a late fee. Hi, Malin. How are you? This is kind of long too, you know. Yeah, but he's. It's okay that it's long. I don't know. I don't mind his. Are all victims of Laura? Yeah, you are so sweet, Malin. Thank you. I appreciate you. He was a victim in the situation. No one took him seriously. Exactly. Exactly. Each state's rules for deposition may differ. Some states limit number of hours a deposition can be held, others do not. Lots of nuance to depositions. Some of the states have criminal depositions. I do remember the judge saying, like, if you wanted him to sit down with you, you should have subpoenaed him to do so. I was a legal assistant. I was scheduled a deposition with an attorney, and he said his client would be there, so I didn't prepare a subpoena. I got in trouble when it was a no-show. Interesting. Give him all the pages he needs. Right. I agree. I agree. This just a day after you threatened to have me arrested if I show up at the courthouse to be a witness. The fact that you would suggest an inappropriate call between me and my abuser, yes, Michael, proves to me you have no idea how inappropriate it would be to speak to the woman who fabricated wild tales about me and turned them into a TEDx talk and an entry in Chicken Soup for the Soul that will live on forever. This letter, which has been painful for me to write, has addressed everything you wanted to speak to me about by phone. All the best, Michael Marraccini. I love it. I love it. Yes, he deserves to be heard. David, what is this? This is from Greg Woodnick to Gingras. Uh-oh. Woodnick has entered. Am I reading this backwards? Should I be at the bottom first? Oh, well. David, let me know about your computer expert ASAP. Mike is fine with the tech issues being reviewed by your expert. There are other files on that computer that are personal private, so we need to figure out how to assure those are not accessed. But that should be navigable. In addition to the tech confirmation, Colin recalls all of this, and he was present during the meeting with Ron Owens at Blank in San Francisco, where they discussed the Jedek for what Laura had done. Mike mentioned he is willing to talk to you. Of course, I let him know you were very thoughtful during our call today. He needs to vet it with Randy. I did not mention Laura wanting to talk to him, only because I forgot. But I am going to guess that he will take a hard pass. But I could be wrong. This needs to end. Zaddy. Zaddy. Hard pass. Subpoena means go. Yep. Hi, Toadette. How are you? Love me some Zaddy time. Hi, Rebecca. Goes to pull out something silky for Zaddy. Greg, this is from David Gingras. Just to follow up, I'm in the process of looking for a computer person in San Fran to look at Mike's laptop. Laura wants to move forward with that review. And while I'm not confident that it will change anything, I do think it may help her remove doubts about what the laptop shows. That alone could be worth the effort. Why? Why? I'm finishing all emails with this needs to end. That's how I'm going to end our DMs, Jack. This needs to end. Bye. Jack, I have your video queued up. I'm going to watch it today at the end of my stream. Everybody, just so you know, Jack Fox from Never a Truer Word put out a video about Napkin Lady, which I am very interested. So, shameless plug. Just to follow up, Okay. As discussed, I'd also appreciate you setting up a call with Marraccini if you can. I guess there's also a technical issue with that. Mike is, to my knowledge, represented by Randy Sue Pollock, and I don't have her consent to talk with him. So if Mike is open to having a call, which I hope he is, I just need to make sure I have consent from his counsel to speak with him. Oh my god. Hi, Wakes. Almost as much as I love the love trap song. If you can just talk to him, he'll see how wrong he's been. And oh my God, words, and admit his love for me to the world. Hi, flocks. Oh my God. It was a long weekend, okay? Surfsides were drank. One last thing. After talking with Laura about this, she said she's had lots of questions for Mike. I told her my preference is to have her send me any specific questions, and I'll see if Mike wants to answer them. She also said she's willing to speak directly to him. Why? Why? I thought he almost killed her. But that may not be appropriate in light of the restraining order. Yeah. On the other hand, if Mike has a strong preference in favor of directly speaking with Laura, maybe we can make that happen. But here's my question, right? Okay, let's reverse it. David Gingras is Laura's attorney and is supposed to believe or defend everything that she says. She has a restraining order on Mike because she claimed that he took her within inches of her life. David Gingras, why are you allowing Mike to then get close to your client? Your job is to protect your client. If he has a strong preference in favor of directly speaking with Laura, maybe we can make that happen. If Mike truly was the abuser, he would put himself in any position to get at her, right? He would try to get in a room with her and talk to her. And yet you're supposed to protect your client. And you're like, we can let this guy who almost killed Laura Owens in the same room with her, on the phone with her. Why are we doing that? Why would a lawyer facilitate a crime by arranging a phone call between an abuser and a victim? That's another thing. That's facilitating a crime. Very good. Yes. Very good thoughts. I'm licensed in California and can probably do some sort of stipulation with Randy to modify the CA order to allow this just to be safe. Why? If Laura was my client, I would want to keep her 1,000 yards away from this man. So you guys are thinking he's setting him up because Gingras is fine setting up Mike. David was trying to set up Mike to violate the restraining order by brokering direct conversation. Interesting. Huh. Contacting the abused person? Right. It's pummeling time. Ooh, sounds good. This is a no logic zone. Anything to do with Laura's side of calls. I need to get myself there will be no logic here. I had made some new merch. I really like it. I want to get a t-shirt. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get myself a t-shirt. P.S. This goes without saying, but to the extent I suggested Mike would be arrested if he comes to court in AZ, that suggestion is completely and totally withdrawn. That's not true because we know that he called 911 the day of the trial. I only said that because I didn't want Mike to show up without giving me a chance to at least interview him, as I would with any normal witness. So that's why you called 911? Was because he didn't give you your way instead of violating his restraining order and your client was so scared? As long as Mike agrees to have a reasonable call and answer some questions, I'll stipulate and agree to the appearance in AZ. Is not a violation of anything and will not expose him to arrest or any other legal consequences. Right. Okay. A no logic hoodie, please. I will put my dad as disabled in the back. Did I make hoodies or did I only make t-shirts? I don't know if I'll make a hoodie. I'll make a hoodie for you. Yeah, it goes very extreme. Very quickly. Why is it so vital that she talk to him? Because she wants to. That's what it's that's it. She's doing all of this just to keep these men tied to her. Calling 911. It was petty and spiteful. Zip up hoodies? I don't know. I'll see. I don't know if zip up hoodies is an option. You guys can see Mr. Pike, can we get a merch in the chat? I have a merch store if you guys are interested. Miss Pollock, I am writing to document our discussion just now and to explain my position. Per the email below, we spoke about I can make some TR hoodies for sure. If you guys are interested in what we have now, it's here. So, per the email below, we spoke about your client, Mike Marraccini, about 2 weeks ago. At the time, I told you I just wanted to speak with Mike and hear his side of the story. I also explained that if Mike was going to be a witness in Arizona paternity matter, I could and would be willing to subpoena him for a deposition if he was unwilling to have a simple phone conversation. Then why didn't you? Then why didn't you? Thank you, RJ. Ordering merch is super easy with PayPal. It's an option for payment. Took me less than 30 seconds to order a mug. We appreciate you. I go through Fourth Wall. Everything that I've received so far from them is very good quality. So I like it a lot. I just bought the women's rights and lefts. Cracks me up. I love it. I need that t-shirt too. In response to that discussion, you sent me the email below stating that Mr. Marraccini was not going to testify at the trial in June. Since then, counsel for Mr. Eckert has indicated that Mike Marraccini will be testifying in person at trial in June. This, of course, is inconsistent with what you said below. Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he wasn't going to. Maybe Laura was going to drop the DVRO if Mike didn't testify against her. Doubt it. Testify? I don't know. She's just like, call me. Ugh. I don't know. That's a good point, though, Curly. That's a good point. Maybe. To clarify the situation, I called you again today to ask you if it was possible for me to speak with Mr. Marraccini. Your response was to paraphrase, no, we are not willing to cooperate with you. As is his right. Hi, Lushburn. That's his right. In light of that response, I want to make two things clear. If Mr. Marraccini intends to testify at trial, then I have an absolute right to know this, and I have a right to interview him. You do. You do. That interview can be done informally in a phone call. It can. Or it can be done formally in a deposition. Also, yes. Either way, refusing to cooperate is not an available option if Mr. Marraccini wants to participate as a witness. So subpoena him. And then he cannot deny if he has been formally subpoenaed. Why not just do the full job? To paraphrase, to put my own spin on it. Right. Would you imagine if he was like, to paraphrase, no bitch, we're not on the phone, you suggested Mr. Marraccini may just show up at trial rather than participating as a subpoena witness, i.e., he would simply choose to be there either as a spectator or as a non-subpoenaed witness. But he was a subpoenaed witness, which is why the judge allowed him in the courtroom. I just want to know, as a non-lawyer, why I know more about the situation than you do. I have to gloss my dry ass lips. Ugh. Why ask why? Because that's my job, Zoe. They don't want any of their shady dealings to be in writing. They know those texts sink in her stories. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. You'll know for sure that I don't trust anything about you if I'm like, no, I'll get this in text only, thanks. If that is his plan, I need to be clear about our position. If Mr. Marraccini shows up as either a spectator or as a non-subpoenaed witness, Laura will ask the Phoenix police to have Mr. Marraccini immediately arrested for violating the restraining order issued against him, copies attached. Is Elf supernatural? I'm a little bit darker complected, so I also have princess cut, which I find to be a little light. This, so good. And you know what else? Not sticky. I love it. I think it's like $10. It's so good. There will be no logic here. The Schmear campaign. Digging deep. Digging deep. Oh, if you guys have not liked the stream already, can you thumbs up? Does your hair stick to it? Not really. Not really. In short, I agree Mr. Marraccini can testify at trial without the fear of arrest, provided he complies with the rules and procedure. Provided you also comply with the rules of procedure. I feel like that Cardi B meme where she's like, the fuck? That means, among other things, I have the right to interview him and take his deposition as necessary. Yes, you do. You do. That's, yes. Ugh. Yeah, Elf's great. If Mr. Marraccini does not want to comply with the procedural rules, that's 100% okay. Is it? Is it? Because you're saying right here that it's not. In this paragraph right here, you're like, it's not okay. But then right here, you're like, actually, it is okay. Don't worry about me. I'm more than happy if he wants to stay home, assuming that he hasn't been lawfully summoned, which you can do. But if he comes within 100 yards of Laura without being compelled to appear by valid subpoena, then he will risk arrest and prosecution for violating the restraining order, which he didn't because the judge said he could be in the courtroom. Oh, God, him with his rules again. Rule ER 26. Just kidding. Rule ER 3.4. The Arizona Rules of Professional Conduct provides a lawyer shall not request a person other than a client to refrain from voluntary giving relevant information to another party. What? My son is yelling gecko upstairs. Rule of Professional Conduct provides a lawyer shall not request a person other than a client to refrain from voluntary giving relevant information to another party. I see. Assume Mr. Woodnick has not instructed you or Mr. Marraccini to refrain from speaking to me. If that has occurred, it would be a per se violation of the ethical rules. So I have to tell you, you think she is going to tell you if Woodnick's like, don't talk to this guy. Don't talk to this guy. Courtrooms are generally considered safe spaces. There was no need to call 911. I have a woman who's going to come onto the podcast soon. She's going through one of the craziest fucking family court cases you guys will ever hear. We just have to make sure she's going to be safe if she does so. Every time she goes to court, she has to stand within 5 feet of the man that she is deathly afraid of. She has to do that because the judge requires both of them be there. Also, and just to be clear, I am not under any circumstances suggesting that Mr. Marraccini should not participate in the trial if he has relevant information. All I am saying is that if he wants to testify, he needs to do so in a manner that complies with all the rules and the law, which he is. This is mandatory to ensure basic fairness to all sides. Finally, please note that it is a felony under Arizona law for any person to unlawfully withhold testimony to evade legal process, to appear and or to fail to appear when legally summoned. Oh, don't get mad. I need to make like a Zen screen, like when I need to calm. I need to make a calming screen for myself. Okay. Okay. Bombastic. Oh, God. I need a voice. Fire isn't calming. You know what? It's getting there. You have not legally summoned him. You asked him if he would take a phone call. For avoidance of any doubt, nothing in this email should be construed as an attempt to cause Mr. Marraccini not to appear, except for the fact that I said I would call 911 and have him arrested. But other than that, he's fine to show up. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. You're smart. I'm dumb. You're good looking. I am not. Do you want to have a phone call? On the contrary, I would very much like him to appear, provided that he does so in a manner that complies with the rules, including the rule that requires a prompt disclosure of the substance of his testimony, and the rule which entitles me to interview him prior to trial. Get a subpoena. If you have any questions, please let me know. I don't have questions. Bacon Bears, you rang. My God. Leave. On May 7th, Michael Marraccini receives a subpoena from Woodnick Law to appear on June 10th as a witness. Let's take a look. You are ordered to appear. Right to the object. Court modifies or quashes, whatever. And he was happy to show up. So he had a formal subpoena. May 9th, Michael Marraccini responds to Gingras' email. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is my main go-to line. I am stupid, you are smart. I am weak, you are strong. I'm a peasant, you rule. What is it? It's I forget. Me and my husband say it to each other all the time. It's like Adam Sandler. You are smart. I am dumb. You are good looking. I am not. Oh, God. Mr. Gingras. I just like drawing on these things, too. I like drawing. Greg Woodnick reached out to me and gave me your contact number because you have expressed a desire to speak to me. I want you to know that I was about to call. Oh, we already read this. All the best. All the best. All the best. Okay. So Michael Marraccini is subpoenaed as a witness. Again. So we have that. All right. Here's another subpoena. Great. Good, great, grand. No yelling on the bus. For the Laura Owens Clayton Eckerd paternity hearing, directly before the hearing, the lawyer calls the Phoenix PD. Incident report. It's so funny because I know a lot about this. And yet I feel like I know nothing. What do we have? Complainant, Laura Owens. Ethnicity, non-Hispanic. Court. Upon arrival, there was a media event involving a past bachelor. Oh, God. If I hear the word The Bachelor one more goddamn time. There was a media event involving a past Bachelor TV show participant, Clayton Eckerd, and his ex-girlfriend, I'm quitting. I quit. I'm leaving YouTube. I'm done with this. Never a girlfriend. Could never be a girlfriend. That's what pissed her off so much. At this location, the case was in civil nature and unrelated to this call. The reason police responded was because one of the witnesses, Michael Marraccini, received a subpoena to appear in court and testify on behalf of Clayton. Laura has an order of protection against Michael, and her lawyer, David Gingras, requested that he not be allowed to enter the court building. The judge allowed Michael into the courtroom to give his testimony. David said he will make an appeal to the courts in California and request charges against Michael for violating the court order. No crime at this time. Right. Heavy on the ex-girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend question mark? Oh my God. Hi, Belly Life. How are you? Laura was afraid. She was afraid Mike would say improve. Nobody mentioned a problem with Greg being in the courtroom. Didn't they also call the police on Greg? I thought they did. Laura referenced herself as ex-girlfriend and called Clayton the bachelor. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, I thought they did. My God. Just Mike. Laura Owens is suspected to have called CPS? I'm going to write that down as my question, one of my questions. Let me be very clear. And Laura, because I know you're watching, I am speaking to you directly, okay? Let me be very clear when I say called CPS on Mike. Let me be very clear when I say I think that your behavior, in my opinion, is abhorrent. I think your behavior is deplorable. I think your behavior is pathetic. All around disgusting. However, to do what you do to adults is one thing. To do what you are doing to go directly after children, I don't have words for it. I really don't have words for it. The fact that if you truly did call CPS on Mike, and the fact that you could take children out of a loving home, or the possibility, right? Like that's your point, right? Is to have CPS come and remove children from the home. That is the point of calling CPS. The fact that you could try to remove children from a loving home to put them in the foster care system, which is a whole shit show of its own, or put them in a house full of strangers, is fucking gross. It's gross. And I get it, right? You're upset because you could never be a girlfriend to these men. You could never be a wife to these men. You are no Danielle. You'll never be. You're never gonna be. You just never are. And you could never be a mother to these men's children. And the fact that it bothers you so far to your core that you would have to call CPS and risk these children being taken out of their homes? I thought I hated you before, and this is all fun and games because it's just like all adult. I thought I hated you before, but now I don't know if I could go lower. I really don't. I really don't know if I could go lower. I know because of the things that you've said, right? It is my opinion that you don't take being a parent seriously. You don't take being a mother seriously. And don't give me any bullshit about how I wanted to be a mother. Fuck you, because you wouldn't even joke about half of the shit that you've lied about. You wouldn't talk about having an abortion at the expense of getting a fucking man, you pathetic bitch. But now you're going to call CPS on a family, and the ultimate goal is to get the children removed from that fucking house. And you're going to do that because you have that sad of a fucking life? Holy shit. Get the fuck out of here. I know that there are a lot of people in my chat who say that if Laura gets the help that she needs, we just hope that Laura gets the help she needs. We just hope that, she comes and apologizes and there is no, not for me. Not for me. Not for me. I don't know what it would take. And I know you probably don't care about me, but if you're watching this, just know that sitting on this side of the screen, there is nothing that you could do that could convince me that you are reformed enough to be safe in fucking society. Michael Marraccini has fucking toddlers. Babies. There is no reform for you. You belong in prison. What does chat say? Mike and his wife got a random anonymous call to CPS. California sent someone's mics. Let's see. Laura, if you for a second think the Owens family wouldn't bring Mike and his family's lives down, kids included, then you're not paying attention. I don't know. I guess I'm not paying attention. There's just a part of me that doesn't want to believe it, right? There's a part of me that thinks even these shenanigans have parameters. And that's what I'm learning, is there are no parameters. We don't hate her enough. I agree. Fuck that. Like, just kids is, ugh. Ugh. Right. Right, but still go to Laura trial. We believe you. My God. Not me, straight to jail. Ramen. There needs to be an investigation into making false complaints to a government service. Right. Right. She would have to be honest. Curing cancer gets her back to neutral. Viking. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. The only effective treatment is serious prison time for public safety. I wish she had gotten help a decade ago when it was clear she couldn't cope with any rejection. Now she's a straight up criminal in my mind. Yeah, real babies. Low'll never understand. Fuck you, man. I don't think she will ever stop after prison. I just don't think it will be that easy for her. She just wants to destroy Laura and Jan are so watching this. We know by Jan's declaration in bankruptcy tour when she talked about the Schmear campaign and got some good. Because I got shit to say to Jan about a mother, too. Where the fuck were you when your daughter was getting assaulted? Where the fuck were you, Jan, when you knew that Mike was strangling your daughter? Where the fuck were you? Couldn't bite my tongue if there's no way. Oh my God. Good people believe there's a level no one would stoop to. Right. Right. You as in anyone who thinks they're even a little normal. Yeah. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that people are capable of shit when it comes to kids. And it fucking pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. Oh, hi, Parapet. There is no one she wouldn't hurt to get what she wants, but when she gets something she says she wants, she gets a new goal. Oh, God. Cluster B. A whole wheat raisin bagel with a schmear would be nice. That's right. You know what I should do? I should make the word schmear with like a knife spreading on a shirt. You guys want that? Or maybe like down the sleeve. That would be fun. Right. And why would you allow your autistic daughter to leave at night to meet up with a stranger for a hookup? Exactly. It's unbelievable. All of you belong in fucking prison. The kids, bro, fuck off. And the fact that your sister, Laura, I'm talking to you, eyes up here, the fact that your sister has kids the same age and you can see them and you can be with them and they are tangible in the real fucking world and you can still do that to another human being. Why? Why? You're shit, man. You're fucking shit. Right. If you knew Mike was abusive, why did you beg him to stay with your daughter? Unbelievable. I'm mad today, friends. That made me mad. Well, now that I had this little nugget of information, Laura Owens, just know I'm going to be in your ass for the rest of the day. Just know. Yep. Strong victim impact statements. Strong. So on 6/11, happy birthday to me! 6/11, Laura calls the Scottsdale police to report Greg, Clayton, and Michael for restraining order violations. Good Lord. And not in a good way, right? Not in the way that you want it. Fucking bitch. What a bitch. You know what's so funny is I always think about like Rob's situation. Hi, Wendy. I always think about Rob's situation and, you know, hey, Rob, and she took him to court and, you know, he had to listen to the things that he said and whatever. I'm like, I don't know. The judge would be like, did you say this? And I'd be like, fucking asshole. Listen, don't do dumb shit. And I won't have dumb shit to talk about on the internet. So there's that. Right. Greg, Mike, Clayton, oh my. It'd be me, Your Honor. It'd be me. The judge would be like, did you say that? Yeah, and I'd do it again. Hi, Ducky. Bye, Stevie. All right. So I guess Laura's calling the police department. So let's go ahead and get some silly energy for that. Bacon. Yeah, the judge would be, yeah, judge, did you hear why I said it? Because if you have context, you'd be right. I'm going to need you to play it in its full context, judge. Thanks. Would have to gamble on the largest felony being an open plea with no agreement time felony. She has to go to trial. Hi, D Buggy. I think we should talk about Laura's escalation. She actually had schmecks with Greg and Michael, but not Clayton. I think it's purposeful escalation to see what she can get away with because she's a predator. Pseudologia fantastica. Yep. We've already talked about that. Great chat. Hi, HR. How are you? I don't need HR here. I'd be in a lot of trouble if I had HR. This is Laura Owens calling the police music. Scottsdale Police. This is Riley.
Hi, I'm calling to report violations of multiple restraining orders.
Okay. What's the address where this took place at?
It actually took place online. In one of them.
Okay. Do you have a Scottsdale address?
Yeah, I do. One of them was actually at the Northeast Courthouse. So do you want that address? Or do you want mine?
We'll just go with yours, and then we'll log the information. What's your address? And what is your name?
Laura Owens?
And what is a good telephone number for you? And how long ago did this take place?
Yesterday. And the day before yesterday.
And who was it that you have the order against?
So I have the order against, okay. I have an order against 2 men in Arizona and 1 in California, and they were all,
Ha ha ha, I just fucking love ya. Smiley face emoji.
Thank you, Melon. I have an order against 2 men in Arizona and 1 in California, and they were all, together and kind of coordinated. It's kind of complicated. Do you want the men's names?
Yeah, if I could get them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, the first one is Greg Gillespie. Gregory Gillespie.
How do you spell the last name?
Gillespie.
Do you have his date of birth by chance?
Let me see. I have the order, so I'm guessing that has it on it.
Alright, and the second subject?
Clayton. And the last name is ECHARD.
Do you have that date of birth? And they are order of protections that you have against them?
Yes. I have orders of protections against those 2.
Okay. All right, Laura. What I'm going to do is have an officer give you a call to talk to you.
Oh, and then there is one more.
Oh, there's one more.
There's one more. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. The other one is actually, yeah, it's a California order. I got the order in California, and then I moved to Arizona. I'm trying to collect them in all 50 states. But I was told by San Francisco police to contact you guys. So that man's name is Michael, and then I can spell the last name. It's Marraccini.
And
Everyone don't like you, but you aren't the problem.
Trick. And what's Michael's date of birth? Okay. What I'm going to do is have an officer, like I said, give you a call to talk to you about making a report. It may show up as a blocked or restricted number when they call you, so just for the time being, make sure you answer any phone calls you receive until you hear from us, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye now.
God damn it, I hate her so much. God. Oh my God. Hopefully Tiff isn't in the chat. Why? Rule and complete. What? Completion? Oh, the BK stuff? Yeah, it's great. Absolutely a predator. She's terrifying. I have so many questions. I love when Bacon gets mad. That's where I idle. I love this police call interpretation. Bacon Bears has finally reached my level of rage. Hi, Birdseed. Which of the 13 do you want? Right. Having been a 911 operator, let me narrate behind the scenes. Call taker hears low voice and immediately tosses her pen to get attention of call taker. Hello, police. My victims are now friends. Arrest them. I can imagine the facial reactions this lady had to this call. I can't. I couldn't. I know. She thinks, yes, she's very proud of these restraining orders. Said nobody ever. Behind the scenes, call taker proceeds to flip the middle finger to the phone as a gesture of disdain for this repeat caller. Everyone in dispatch is now watching the call being entered. Steve is right. She is indeed a dumbass. Does she have separate filing cabinet for each of these men? Ugh. Is the sound lagging? I don't know. Let me know. Did she have an OP on Clayton? Yes, I believe at some point. I believe. No shame, no bounds. There's more. There's more. Don't worry about it. I dropped the stack of orders on the Mesita floor. Let me gather them up before the dog pees on them. Oh my God. Bye-bye. All the best. Clearly thought she was being punked. She doesn't realize as soon as the person on the other line hears three different guys, they're doing the Steve Harvey, oh, you're crazy meme. Right. I'm going to be so disappointed when she gets on the stand. Doesn't sound. I'll just redo it. Call taker was likely throwing her hands in the air like, why am I here? Right. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, good. July 9th. Loa files a DVRL renewal request. Here we go. All right. Anything in here? It's so weird. Yes. She needs to learn to speak in the voice. Also, too, she so much. As a woman who wants to be a girl boss, she just like, anytime I hear her talk, anytime you listen to the things that she's saying, like anytime there's sort of a transcript, every other word is, see attached declaration. Good Lord. I mean, you can, but it's like every other word. Improper. Michael Marraccini. July 10th, 2025. Because she's making, yeah, they both do, just like Jan. Right, because they're making up stories. Language fillers. Is she just a shoebox under her bed for the men she's had in her, ew, and a lock of their hair? Oh, God. Isn't that a felony crime? They posted on Instagram, but they wouldn't let me post them on my Instagram. Michael Marraccini can post pictures of these men on his Instagram, but he won't let me post pictures of him on my Instagram. Would have gotten me an F. Is her tell to lying? It is. I agree. Over victims. Ew. Ew. She keeps all the old pregnancy tests. Ew. Those sounds are giving me. My Jan in Hoboken. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. My name is Laura Owens. Okay, great. Copy of the Exhibit A is a copy of the declaration. What is with my mouth today? Declaration. In July of 2020, I filed to renew the OOP. In September, this court granted my request. For reasons explained below, I am now seeking the court to renew the OOP against Michael Marraccini. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Since the OOP was renewed in 2020, Mr. Marraccini has violated it in several ways, most of which relate to a different family law case I am involved in here in Arizona called Owens versus Eckerd. Briefly, the Owens versus Eckerd case here in Arizona involved a petition to establish paternity, which I filed in Maricopa County Superior Court against a man named Clayton Eckerd. Do you know The Bachelor? He was The Bachelor. The Bachelor? Was it Bachelor? Not A Bachelor. The Bachelor. ABC's The Bachelor. I don't care about it, but he was The Bachelor. Mr. Eckerd and I were involved in a brief one-night relationship. Shut the fuck up.
A one-night relationship? Immediate jail. Immediate jail. God.
In May of 2023. After that experience, I tested positive for a pregnancy, which eventually led me to file the paternity case against Mr. Eckerd. Hi, Charlie! While the paternity petition was pending, I believe I had a miscarriage, which later confirmed by a visit to an OBGYN facility called Mom Doc, where I took 2 pregnancy tests which both came back negative. After receiving this information, I took no further action to pursue the paternity petition against Mr. Eckerd, which resulted in the court setting the matter for administrative dismissal due to inactivity. But before the case was dismissed, Mr. Eckerd hired a lawyer who accused me of faking the pregnancy. Can you believe it? Good Lord. After the lawyer threatened to seek sanctions against me, I hired a lawyer who immediately moved to voluntarily dismiss the paternity action with prejudice, as permitted by Rule 26 of the Arizona Rules of Family Law Procedure. And even though the Arizona rules required the court to allow me to withdraw the paternity petition, the judge refused to allow me to withdraw the petition. The court further set the matter for a 2-hour evidentiary hearing, which took place on June 10th of 2024 in Phoenix. While the paternity case was pending, Mr. Eckerd's counsel provided a disclosure statement listing Michael Marraccini as a witness in this case. The portion of the disclosure statement referring to Mr. Marraccini is shown below. I found the disclosure of Mr. Marraccini as a witness extremely surprising because at the time I had not spoken to Mr. Marraccini in several years. To my knowledge, Mr. Marraccini did not know Clayton Eckerd and did not have any personal knowledge regarding any of the issues involved in my dispute with Mr. Eckerd. Furthermore, the disclosure statement falsely stated that I had 2 pregnancies with Mr. Marraccini, and it implied that there was subsequent litigation relating to those pregnancies. This is completely false. Everybody knows I've had 162 pregnancies and only 334 abortions. The only litigation I've had with Mr. Marraccini in this matter, which is solely based on his threatening conduct towards me, because Mr. Eckert asked the court to award him sanctions. Me, Laura Michelle Owens was forced to defend that issue. I eventually retained a lawyer in Arizona named David Gingras, who first appeared in Owens versus Eckert. At my request, Mr. Gingras attempted to interview each disclosed witness, including Michael Marraccini, because the only contact information provided for Mr. Marraccini was a lawyer named Randy Sue Pollock. Mr. Gingras contacted Ms. Pollock to determine what Mr. Marraccini intended to testify about. Why is any of this in a renewal? In response, Ms. Pollock told Mr. Gingras that Mr. Marraccini knew nothing about Owens versus Eckert and that he did not intend to appear in Arizona as a witness. Thank God. On April 19th, Ms. Pollock sent Mr. Gingras an email confirming that Mr. Marraccini would not testify at the trial. Despite this, just days after Mr. Pollock stated in writing, Ms. Pollock stated in writing that Mr. Marraccini would not appear at trial, Mr. Eckert's counsel sent a new disclosure statement, which again listed Mr. Marraccini as a witness and explained for the first time that he intended to testify about my believed motivation in fabricating pregnancies to secure relationships. But you see, police officer reading this, I can't secure relationships in any other way because I have nothing to offer. So I have to fake pregnancies. You get what I'm saying? After learning Mr. Marraccini's attorney had falsely told Mr. Gingras that Mr. Marraccini was not going to appear at trial, my attorney filed several pleadings, including a motion in Lemonade and an emergency motion to strike, asking the court to exclude Mr. Marraccini on the basis of improper and untimely disclosure. Just a few days later, in early May, I was horrified, underlined, to learn Mr. Marraccini publicly released nearly 2,500 pages of private text messages exchanged between us in 2016 to 2017.
Notice how she strategically doesn't say that these were falsified or lies or anything like that. So you're stating that all of those text messages are factual. Yikes.
None of these private messages had anything to do with any of the issues in Owens versus Eckert, and Mr. Marraccini did not release them in response to a court order, a lawful subpoena, or any other valid legal request from Mr. Eckert's counsel.
Guess what? I could release all the text messages I want. I can just do that. Isn't that fun?
These messages included hundreds of pages.
Don't worry, we're reading them all.
Of private conversations between me and Mr. Marraccini, including discussions regarding sexual matters.
Bitch, you have told everyone about your sex life. Every single paper that you have filed in a court or to police, you have talked about your sex life.
Medical issues, private family matters, and other highly personal and private topics. It is clear to me that Mr. Marraccini released these 2,500 pages of private messages for the sole purpose of harassing, humiliating, and terrorizing me. His conduct had exactly the intended effect. Since Mr. Marraccini released these messages, they have been widely shared across the internet.
And we thank him every day for his due diligence. I didn't realize this has 100 pages. So I'm going to go back and read chat, and then we're going to keep going. Is this our time for Mr. Omar came into Mike's life? That I don't know. A one-night relationship. Right. I didn't know she called CPS. Right. It's disgusting. That's like saying you were on a one-night diet. The way she tested positive for a pregnancy sounds like a disease. It's like COVID. I've had longer relationships with a Klondike bar. Oh, boy. The Bachelor. Tell me you're a dating expert without telling me you're a relationship expert. Don't you need more than one ship visit for a relationship? I don't know. She's a pirate. She just takes what she wants. That's what we should all do to get together as a group, do a TED Talk about how we have all been victimized and abused by Laura and all her abusive crimes. Had a miscarriage without being seen in person, yet continued to say she was pregnant. Hi, virtual juror. How much do you want to bet Lo is at least on and one new and one used pregnancy test in her purse at all? Ew. Imagine carrying a pee stick around with you for no reason. Rule 26. This was filed in court. This is the renew for the DVRO. Use a hoe. Ho, use a hoe. Ho, use a hoe. They said that use a hoe. Ho, I love that song. Oh my God. Memory unlocked. Little baby No Thoughts does not understand how relationships works. Both Laura and Jan interpret, allow, and demand to do what they want. I believe I had a miscarriage. Jack would have some thoughts on that statement. She was the only one surprised. Did she ever once have any doctor put their hands up her hoo-ha? I don't believe so. Oy, oy, oy. Getting ready for the pool day. Yay. Imagine this being your entire identity. Could never be me. I have things to do. Music, chef's kiss. Stage pose. Right. To my knowledge, many victims. What was just crawling on me? I will kill myself. I swear to God, if that wasn't a hair and it's a spider, I will die. I love when she realizes the guys were able to find each other and bond over her bullshit. It's amazing. I love that she has that they would never post her on their Instagram, and then they all posted each other. Talented Bacon, thank you. Jetsons, like a bear trap. Because her entire life is relevant. Duh. It's so maddening how she can just bald-faced lie about all these things. She accused of all of them. Right. I can't sleep if I tell a white lie about liking my girlfriend's new haircut, and I really didn't. Jackie, thank you for the flow state, Jules. When she thought she had a miscarriage, she took no further action. Right. Except drank Monster. Horrified. Prior bad acts. Didn't she release private? Right. She released it. I know more about Laura's sex life than my own. Exactly. She wants to write it. She wants to talk about it wherever she can. I wouldn't be humiliated if any of these messages were released. Laura needs to use her bean blaster and chill the fuck out. We got a bean blaster mention. She only releases highly edited info. Seems like she has many one-night relationships. Any statement made prior to being read, Miranda warnings. I really need to see. Oh, God, I want to see that Bachelor tape so bad. I show every single emotion. I'm a terrible liar. Yeah, me too. I hate it. I'm not smart enough. Crawling creatures away. Ew. Requires stop trot. Don't, because I will. I hate spiders, and they hate me. Back to the theme at hand here.
By sharing our private messages publicly, Mr. Marraccini disclosed personal private conversations between us which had nothing to do with any of the issues involved in Owens versus Eckert. As just one example, shown below is a private text message I sent to Mr. Marraccini describing medical problems I was having, including an epileptic seizure. By Mr. Marraccini publicly released my private medical information for no valid reason, resulting in being published. Hold on.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Justice for the... God damn it, Jack. No. Wait. Wait a second. So you... The fact that you won your DVRO on the court's incompetence is not the fucking win that you think it is, Laura. As one example, shown as a private text message I sent to Marraccini describing medical problems, including an epileptic seizure. You were telling him in here that you had a seizure. Why didn't you add in here? Why would you be telling him about your seizure if you're claiming also, maybe not in this DVRO renewal, that it was a seizure caused by him? You put in the fact that you told him about the seizure in your DVRO renewal, and then later you're like, oh, it's because of him and not because of Uber? The incompetence here, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. You are on a carousel. It's so funny to me that she's like, Michael Marraccini caused my epilepsy. Oh, no, wait. What did Jack tell me? Michael Marraccini is the cause for epilepsy for everyone. So you would put later in a DVRO that he gave you epilepsy to get the renewal. But in this one, I had to go, oh my God. And that's entering their text convos, which makes the rest relevant. Thanks, girl. Right. On Reddit like it was candy. I gave up on these dumb investigators getting these affidavit statements. They do not press her on her statement and angle for the perjury charge. It is mind-blowing. Where are my blood pressure meds? I know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is she blames Michael for her epilepsy and then puts in the DVRO renewal that she was talking to Michael about the epilepsy, and not in a way that she was accusing him of it. Ugh. Anyways.
It is difficult to put into words what an extreme and outrageous violation of my personal privacy Mr. Marraccini caused by his conduct. Imagine having 2,500 pages of your personal and private conversations with a romantic partner released on the internet for the entire world to see. That is what Mr. Marraccini did to me. Mr. Marraccini's harassment, threats, and abuse go even further. The day before June 10th evidentiary hearing, Mr. Marraccini appeared in a video published on Instagram. Standing next to Mr. Eckert and another male named Greg Gillespie, who I dated briefly in Arizona. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't date.
This post is shown below. Mr. Marraccini is on the far right of this photo.
Oh, what the fuck is crawling on me? I am going to die. All right, I think it's just a hair. I think it's just a hair that I have shed. All right, I think we're safe. I think we're safe. All right. It's not a spider, Charlie. Shut up. Oh, God. All right, and here they all are. We hope that justice. Yes. What else we got? I know. I wish Uber could go back. Here I thought crashing my bike and a head injury caused my epilepsy, not Mike. Nope, it was Michael Marraccini. Actually. Sorry, Lou. Laura will make an outrageous allegation and claim if you can't disprove it, it must be right. When it is disproved, she says whatever and makes a new outrageous claim. It's truth whack-a-mole. Right. They couldn't really question or press her on answers during the investigation. She said she couldn't talk without her lawyer. Sharing text receipts is not a crime. Loser. She wishes the entire world was interested. I mean, we are, just not interested in the way that she wants. I love the voices. Unlike Lo, I don't have multiple stories about how I got epilepsy, depending on who I am talking to. Well, now you can just tell everybody it's Michael Marraccini. Mr. Bear's Pets, I swear to God, I'll burn this house to the ground. No worries, it's just little fairies crawling by. Laura has unleashed the casita bug. Oh! Because I thought there was a wasp in my hair. It was my own hair clip. There was a bee chasing me yesterday, and I told my husband, I'm like, can you get it away from my hair? And he's like, what do you want me to do? Swat it? Because then it's going to come after me. And I'm like, I'll kill you. Kill you. Had 2 brief 20-minute relationships with. Right. When Jan and Ron lose their house, they can downsize by suggesting Laura spends time in jail. Ugh, hate spiders. I one time had a grasshopper show up in the driver's seat. Oh! I'd be dead. John, thank you for the flowers. Flew up in the chair. Okay. Let's get back to the story at hand.
The caption of this post is shown below. It suggests that the last thing we want is to see a 5th victim to experience what we have. The "we" in this sentence refers to Mr. Gillespie, Mr. Eckerd, and Mr. Marraccini. Please keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we head into tomorrow's court hearing. This has gone on for 10 years too long, and the last thing we want to see is a 5th victim experience what we have. Could you believe it? After it became clear that Mr. Marraccini intended to appear at the hearing in Arizona on June 10th, I asked my attorney to take all possible steps to ensure that if Michael Marraccini did appear, he complied with the terms of the OOP issued by this court, which remained valid and in effect at that time.
What do we know about the 4th guy? He wants nothing to do with this shit. Nothing. I save bees for my pool all the time. I hate when I see them drowning. Speaking of scary things, let's get back to Laura. Go to trial, Mr. Bears. Hey. Oh, no. Hi, Amy. Y'all don't want to know? Nope, I don't. She's lucky he refuses all the documentation from his case with her. Oh, God, I wish. Why don't you speak about the missing 4th victim? Or is that because he beat you at your own game? Yeah. I would love to know anything about that. Anything.
At my request, my attorney, Mr. Gingras, contacted court security to advise them that this court's OOP and asked them to provide assistance so that if Mr. Marraccini appeared as a witness, he was kept an appropriate distance away from me and this court, as this court has ordered. According to Mr. Gingras,
could you imagine her bringing a measuring tape? She's like...
According to Mr. Gingras, he contacted the Maricopa County Superior Court's head of security, provided a copy of this court's order, and was told that court security would ensure the OOP was followed. But unfortunately, that did not occur. Because I guess other people don't have to follow the rules as I see fit. In addition, on May 6, Mr. Gingras sent an email to Mr. Marraccini's attorney, Sue Pollack, explaining his concern that it appeared that Mr. Marraccini intended to travel to Arizona to violate this court's OOP. In response, Mr. Gingras told me Miss Pollock stated that Mr. Marraccini would not agree to an interview or deposition despite this being required by the rules. And that, according to her, Mr. Marraccini intended to simply just show up at the hearing in Arizona, despite the fact that he had not been served a valid subpoena requiring him to appear in Arizona.
Even though he did, and it was by Greg Woodnick. So there's that. There are 5 victims. Who's 5? There are 5? I thought there were 4. Under the Michael Morton Act, all evidence has to be disclosed, omissions on grounds for contempt of court and subject to prosecution. This is for just a DVRO request renewal. You have to have that. There are 5 known victims. Oh, that's right. The roommate. No, the roommate. The roommate. Oh, no, there's more. Oh, the roommate. Forgot about him. See? My brain can only hold so much information. The roommate is the one where she, they were, like living together at the time. Yeah, and they were roommates. And then something happened and like he got out of his lease. Yeah. Anyways. No, I need more like this.
On the morning of June 10th, I appeared at the Maricopa County Superior Court for the evidentiary hearing in Owens versus Eckerd. As I was waiting outside, Mr. Marraccini came within 300 feet of me! In direct violation of his court's OOP.
Even though the OOP said 100 feet, he couldn't come within 100 feet of you. Remember we did this last week, Laura? This is 3. This is 1. See how this is bigger than this one? You only require this one. He was this one. Okay. All right.
At my request, Mr. Gingras reported the violation to the court security, gave them a copy of this court's OOP, and asked security to enforce this court's order. Court security staff informed Mr. Gingras that they could not enforce this court's order and that only enforcement option was to contact the Phoenix Police Department, which Mr. Gingras immediately did. A few minutes later, officers from the Phoenix Police Department arrived and Mr. Gingras again provided them with a copy of this court's OOP. He explained that Mr. Marraccini had violated the order and asked them to enforce it. Mr. Gingras provided officers with a copy of the relevant part of the Federal Violence Against Women Act, blah, 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 blah.
I just copy and paste it. Right. Victim 0, the contract. Oh, there's so many. Bye, Sarah. Oh, shit. To get into crime scenes? What? No, I'm still in criminology. What? While not much is publicly known about victim 2019, it's clear that Owens victimized him. Right. After he backed out of an apartment lease with Laura, she moved within 10 minutes of his family 2 years later. That is correct. Let's see. Let's not forget Oh, yeah, that's right. Getting in his face at the. I forgot about that. Flapper eating fries.
Despite the fact this court's OOP was legally required to receive full faith and credit in Arizona, the Phoenix Police Department refused to enforce it. Thereafter, on the morning of June 10th, Mr. Marraccini sat inside the courtroom at the Maricopa County Superior Court approximately 20 to 25 feet away from me for a period of approximately 2 hours. After personally observing Mr. Marraccini violating this court order, my attorney asked the judge hearing the case to once again enforce this court's order by excluding Mr. Marraccini from the courtroom. Without any explanation, Judge Matta denied that request, and she allowed Mr. Marraccini to remain less than 300 feet away from me during the entire 2-hour hearing. While I was testifying on the stand, Mr. Marraccini sat in the room approximately 40 feet away from me. He glared angrily at me the entire time, and I know because I was staring lovingly at him. This caused me so much emotional trauma and anxiety. I lost my composure and was unable to complete my testimony without calling for a recess.
That's not true. You were unable to complete your testimony and you lost your composure because people laughed at you. Don't worry, we'll watch it again.
Mr. Marraccini knew he was committing a federal crime by traveling to Arizona with the intent of violating this court's order. This court's OOP expressly informed Mr. Marraccini of the fact as shown on the face of the order here. Prior to Mr. Marraccini traveling to Arizona to violate this court's order, my attorney made extensive efforts to work with Mr. Eckert's counsel to ensure that Marraccini could testify if properly summoned to do so, which he was not. Oh wait, testify, yes. Deposition, no. While doing so in a manner that did not violate this court's order. Among other things, Mr. Gingras, who is licensed to practice law in both Arizona and California, offered to submit a stipulation to this court to modify the OOP to permit Mr. Marraccini to appear as a witness in the Arizona case. Mr. Gingras explains this issue further in his declaration submitted herewith.
Lo thinks the entire world is glaring at her. Hey, everyone. Hi, Steph. How does she know that? Her back was to... Right. It was the police that he called the court who laughed. That's the best part. Did the judge make a ruling? Yes, the judge said that he could be in the room. Are you going to dance to Charleston? Maybe. The parties had the option to make a witness wait in the hall until it was time for the witness to testify. Both parties declined that option. Right. Where are they not? No, you're Charlie. You're logicking, but also he's not in contempt of court because the judge said that he could be there. Sits down. Hello, beautiful. Hi, Stella. It was kind of awesome when Woodman called out Gingras for complaining about not getting a statement from MM when he instead tried to call the police on him, right? The rule of exclusion. Thank you. The courtroom was full. Your Honor, somebody is sitting quietly in the court, straight to jail. She's lying. We all saw the footage because you just admitted to perjury. Right. It was just a minor. It was a minor perjure. It's going to allow him to come judge, but the fact came straight to jail. I'm just curious. After the court filing notarized, I don't see the seals. That I don't know. But here's the thing. So she had an RO against this guy named Michael Marraccini. It's a false RO because he's the victim. But she's claiming that he can't be in the court, and the judge said he could. So here is that. It's a teeny weeny perjurini.
In addition to violating this court's order on June 10th, Mr. Marraccini is also engaged in a course of conduct which has harassed me by posting extensively about me on social media. Can you believe it? He wouldn't post with me pictures on social media, which I was totally cool with, but now he's posting about me on social media. Mr. Marraccini accused me of lying to this court about the facts supporting the OOP issued by the court, which Mr. Marraccini initially stipulated to. For example, in June of 2024, Mr. Marraccini appeared in a 2.5-hour YouTube video interview with a blogger.
She's a fucking journalist, you tea towel.
Named Megan Fox in this video, which remains online. Mr. Marraccini talked about me extensively, even claiming that the OOP issued by this court was completely fabricated.
It's almost like he has a right to, what is it? There's a number 1 in it. It's about freedom when you're talking. Oh, God, what is that thing that we're all allowed to do? Huh?
In addition to making false public statements accusing me of lying to this court, Mr. Marraccini has also repeatedly posted private videos of me online under the pseudonym Honk My Meat.
Notepad? Are you in fact Honk My Meat? Honk My Meat. Cue the video. Oh, God. When is the status conference? We are coming up. It is going to be... So there's going to be a discussion with the judge on July 22nd, and then a trial assignment on July 29th. Good Lord. It wasn't itsy bitsy teeny weeny pregnancy related perjurini. Oh, God. You made me snort when you called her a tea towel. She's an attorney. She's an attorney? Put some spect on her name, Trick. Has the right, constitutional right. Yes, that's right. Honk. Justice for geese. I have a goose. Where's my goose? Right there. Honk my meat and silly goose tits. Right there. They never cease to amaze me. Oh, God. How can you make these statements with a straight face? I don't know. That needs to be said in open court. I'm praying. The head of the courthouse security actually came to the overflow room to explain to us why Mike was allowed to be in there and how it was his job to ensure everyone was safe. Right. That's literally why they have them there. Lil said it, so it must be true. Don't worry about evidence. We are all Honk My Meat. We are Honk My Meat. When is the trial supposed to be now? I mean, it's set to be started on the 29th, but it's going to get delayed. We'll get there. Ay, ay, ay. Will the case be broadcasted? God, I hope so. Evidence is just a minor thing. Guys, we are going to be Honk My Plea. You guys, we're going to have so much fun. It says tentative trial for July 29th, but we know that that's just them going in to talk to each other. I can't wait. Dude, if this goes to trial and it's streamed, the way I'm going to be here from gavel to gavel, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. No way.
Below is an example of a photo of me that Mr. Marraccini posted under honk my meat. I know Mr. Marraccini posted this video because he is the one who took the image during a vacation we took to Iceland while we were dating. This music is perfect. Mr. Marraccini has also published multiple other videos of me, my family, and even my pets using the honk my meat pseudonym. Using that same account, Mr. Marraccini has posted statements on social media offering to discuss why the cheating may have happened, which I understood was a reference to infidelity that occurred with a member of my family during the time Marraccini and I were dating.
Wait, what? Who cheated who? Who cheated on who? I'm giving my info free of charge, and I want to discuss if anyone wants to talk about why the cheating may have happened. Who cheated on who? I'm old, leave me alone. Oh, God. Long Crime already has the pool camera. Let's go. I hope some of you all can join up for a stream together. I don't want to go to trial or to the trial because I can't do shit like I can do here. But I do want to go out there for a weekend and see if I can meet up with people because I think that would be fun. Ron cheated on Jan. I'm at a spotlight and literally craffing. You're craffing? Crying, laughing? Her on him, I thought? On dating apps? What? I'd love to find a roomie. I am probably going to stay at my father-in-law's house. But yes, I would love to meet up with everybody. I'm going. I told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to go at least one of the weekends, maybe the first weekend. I don't know. But I need to be in here, gavel to gavel, because I can't be in a courtroom and be like, Your Honor, objection! Honk my meat! Ah! Oh my God, I came across a wild story in the genre of female fakers last night. Ellie Williams, perversion of justice. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to make a plan.
Mr. Marraccini also shared private text messages he exchanged with my father, Ron Owens, radio legend, which he gave to Megan Fox, who referred to them as emotionally abusive. Mr. Marraccini has also posted statements on social media referring to me as dangerous is an understatement. Taken together, Mr. Marraccini's actions have been absolutely terrifying to me. I am very scared. Very scared. First, he unquestionably committed a federal crime in violation of whatever the fuck this is. When Mr. Marraccini traveled from California, oh my God.
All right, what the fuck? I'm so tired of this, and we are only on page 29. All right, he rejected Gingras. He didn't do the court order. With respect, he released 2,500. I feel like my personal privacy is lost forever for these reasons. I want it renewed. Blee, 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 blah, blah, blue. Great. Okay. Good Lord. The algorithm keeps showing me clips. I've basically watched Obsession as a whole in TikTok because I refuse to watch scary movies, but I always want to know what happens in them. So I've watched the whole thing. I think it's great, but I won't actually watch it. If I can control myself in court, you guys can too. Oh. Yeah, but then I can't talk shit, and I want to talk shit. All right, what do we got? Exhibit A, we've read this declaration. Good Lord. Dear girlfriend. Oh my God. I was crying. Jack sent me an Instagram DM with dear girlfriend written twice on a on a cocktail napkin, and he's like, it's way harder than you would think it is. Are you in fact honk my meat? Objection, Your Honor! This is bullshit. Uh-oh, hold on, my sister's calling me. Give me a second. Okay, well, that's not good. My little ham just called me and told me that she can't stop throwing up. And she's like, do you want the baby to stay at camp? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go pick her up. Just come home. Good Lord. Ugh. 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 As someone who, let's see, airplanes, women, napkin is way too nice. Oh, good Lord. Inebriate the entire chat. Maybe we can get a local bar to play it for us, and then those with no poker face. Oh my God, like a sports event? Sorry, I'm late. I hope it's not tonsil. Ew, that's my little sister. Ew. Yeah, she's like, I can't stop barfing. I'm like, yuck. Come in this house and go straight to your room. Don't talk to me. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But then I'll just go get the little one after camp. It's fine. As a non-US viewer, is it a common thing to call someone, hey, girlfriend? I mean, not in that situation. Not when someone's like getting berated by a 6'5" man. You're not like, hey, girlfriend. Like, that's like, I would see it if like I saw you in a bar, I'd be like, hey, girlfriend. You know, like, and I mean, I wouldn't. That's not something I would say. But, you know, it wouldn't be like if I saw somebody like getting abused by their boyfriend, be like, hey, girlfriend. That's just like, it's something you would use as like, right. It's something only Ariana Grande uses. Yeah, it's just, yeah, hey, girl, hey. That I'm more likely to use that than I would, hey, girlfriend. It's a very weird thing. Okay, what is this? This is the Exhibit C. Declaration of Laura Owens for renewal. We've already gone through this one. If you guys want to go through again, I've already read these. It's a little cringe. I wouldn't be like, hey, girlfriend. Yeah, I'd be like, hey, girl, hey. What's up, girl? That's how I do it. Yeah, you would. Yes, it's a very familiar thing. I can't imagine if I saw somebody just getting screamed at by their significant other and I was just like, hey, girlfriend. Declaration of David Gingras. I don't think I've read this. To write it is weird. Tell her if she can't eat to have some liquid with sugar in it. Also stops vomiting for more than 1 hour. Oh, okay. I will. But she would not sneak a note. Oy. I prefer, excuse me, miss. Right. Yeah, God, you're not writing on napkins. Hey, girlfriend. Oh God. All right. So David Gingras. My name is David Gingras. I am a United States citizen. Great, great, great. I am an attorney. I graduated from here. I am an active member in good standing. I previously represented a woman. Okay, this is about Eckerd. She was pro se. I did not represent her in any capacity. Laura claimed while the paternity case was pending, she either had a miscarriage or otherwise learned she was not pregnant. After learning that information, Laura filed nothing further in the case, and the court administration set the case for dismissal due to inactivity. During that time, Mr. Eckerd was pro se. He was not represented by counsel. Shortly before the case was administratively dismissed, Mr. Eckerd hired counsel who appeared in this case around mid-December of 2023. In his initial pleadings, Mr. Eckerd's lawyer accused Ms. Owens of fabricating her pregnancy. As a result, Eckerd's counsel threatened to seek sanctions against Laura for violating Rule 26 of the Arizona Rules of Family Law Procedure, which is substantially identical to Rule of the Federal Rules number 11. If you guys want to see David arguing Rule 11 and 26 against Rachel Juarez and me incessantly screaming at the screen, I have a video about that as well. It prohibits groundless pleadings and allows sanctions for violations subject to a safe harbor period in which an alleged violation may be cured. The rule also precludes an award of sanctions if a violation is timely cured within the safe harbor period. So, hey, psychopath. Yeah, that's a good one. Doctor by the Tonsil Twins. Oh my God. I think Dear is weirder. Who writes a note? Right. It's very formal. Has anyone timed how long it would take to write the napkin note? We have not. Law review, blah, blah, blah. Right. Her companion was never mentioned on the napkin or in the statement. Also true. B12. Okay. Good standing. Up for debate. Hey, girlfriend. Your shopping cart has me pinned against Frosted Flakes. Right. I've always thought that her book that she would write about all this would be titled Hey Girlfriend. Oh, gross. Rule 26 in Arizona. That's why Sarah's the best. All the best. I can't watch that while having to bite my tongue. I'll chew through it. What happened to the fun New Orleans jazz music? We'll get there. We'll get there. All the best. Histrionics are ruining my vacay. Put a sock in it, right? Jay, girlfriend, we've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty. Exactly. Although I did not represent Miss Owens at the time, she could invoke safe harbor, blah, blah, blah. Despite moving to dismiss. Okay, so we know how this ends. I appeared in the case. We know what this is. Based on my review of the disclosures provided by Mr. Eckerd, it was clear his disclosures failed to meet the specificity requirements of Rule 49 because Mr. Eckerd disclosed literally nothing more than a single sentence suggesting Mr. Marraccini intended to testify regarding his prior interactions with Laura. Okay. However, because I wanted to know what Mr. Marraccini had to say, I picked up the phone. He would not talk to me. She told me he wasn't coming. Here that is. And then he was coming, and I was upset. This disclosure was directly contrary to what she told me. During the phone call, Ms. Pollock was extremely angry, defensive, and agitated. I found this extremely odd because my single prior conversation with her was exceptionally brief and cordial. During the call, I told her if he intends to be a witness and did not, tell me what he was going to say, I was going to call the police on him because I'm a baby. In response, Ms. Pollock specifically told me, no, we are not willing to cooperate with you. I responded about some rules. In response, she told me under no circumstances would Mike agree to comply with the procedural rules, which is not what she said. But okay. I found Ms. Pollock's remarks extremely disturbing. To ensure there was no confusion about my position on these issues, I sent her an email, Exhibit A. Oh my God. In addition, repeating my position that he was obligated to comply with disclosure agreements of Arizona law. Oi, oi, oi. Jack addresses the time to write the note. All right, after I get through this, we're going to go watch that. My partner would speak up before letting me. All the best. Everything she said about this trip was made up. Regarding prior interactions with Laura, part tells you what he would testify about. Right, she can't have that. She can't have any of that. Honk my meat. Hey, girlfriend, Steve called you a dumbass. Right, then depose him. Then just depose him. Do what you need to do. Also, I just want to be clear, I'm not under any circumstances saying that he should not participate in trial, but he needs to tell me what he's going to say. We already read this email. She never replied to my email. However, the following day, I received an expert disclosure from Mr. Eckhart's counsel, which included a report from the computer that's going to blow my case wide open. The sole subject of the Berry Hill report was a laptop allegedly provided to him by Mr. Marraccini while they were dating. While I saw the Berry Hill report, I was astonished. We'll go back to the music. I need it. I was astonished because it represented such a blatant and intentional violation of the family law disclosure rules. Bearing in mind that Owens and Eckhart was filed on August 1st of 2023, the rules required Mr. Eckhart to promptly disclose all evidence he intended to use at trial. Rule 49 specifically required Eckhart to make his initial disclosures within 40 days after his initial response to the petition, which would mean by September of 2023. Any supplemental disclosures were required to be made in a timely manner, which the rule defines as in no event more than 30 days after the information is discovered by or revealed to the disclosing party. So there's that. A single broad statement is inadequate notice to opposing counsel about the scope of the proposed testimony. Right, but Gingras also had an opportunity to formally depose Mike, and he just chose never to do it. I think that's what the biggest argument is. Just for my own entertainment, I giggle. I would like to see the documents to see if everything was done correctly. Signature seals. Based on what I've seen, there are some mistakes. Some means a lot. Yeah, in this, all of this. It's all a mistake, Charlie. All of it. Here, rather than complying with this disclosure obligations, it was obvious Mr. Eckhart and Marraccini conspired to withhold and conceal evidence from Ms. Owens and myself until literally 3 days before the closed discovery. The court had previously scheduled the close of discovery May 10th. Immediately after receiving some similar disclosures relating to Marraccini, which were sent a few days before the Berry Hill report, I filed an emergency request to strike Mr. Eckhart's pleading and a request for an immediate telephonic scheduling conference to discuss Eckhart's violation of the disclosure rules as related to Mr. Marraccini. Unfortunately, despite seeking emergency relief, the trial court waited several weeks before denying my emergency request without explanation. Ay, ay, ay. Had every opportunity to notice him up for a deposition and didn't do it. Exactly. He could have absolutely done this the way that he was supposed to, and he didn't. Oi. Here, here. Thank you, mind your business. So, in time, exactly. Once it became clear that Marraccini intended to violate this court's order by traveling to Arizona to appear at the hearing on June 10th without lawful grounds for doing so, Laura told me she did not believe she could participate in the case unless we did everything possible to ensure Mr. Marraccini complied with this court's order. To comply with Laura's request, I contacted MCSC to advise them of the... Oh, God. Okay, so I asked the head of court if Mr. Marraccini, or if he had an OOP and he should not come. On the morning of June 10th, she told me that she saw Marraccini and he was coming less than 100 yards from her, even though she says 300. So she didn't believe that she could participate in the hearing set for 9 a.m. because he gave her that much anxiety, but she told me that she could talk on the phone with him, which doesn't make sense. At Laura's request, I contacted security. They didn't do anything, so I called the police. Officers from Phoenix came, and I told them about the copy of the order, and then I asked them to enforce it. They told me that they would defer to the decision of the trial judge, and then they declined to offer any further. Hey, thank you. Negligent sacrificed somebody to the membership gods. Shortly after the hearing began, I raised the same issue, and then the judge was like, nah, bitch. Therefore, Judge Matta allowed Mr. Marraccini to sit in the small courtroom, approximately 20 feet away from Laura. She said 20 to 25, and then she said 40. Mr. Marraccini didn't testify. And Mr. Eckert's counsel never obtained a valid California subpoena. Okay. Barry Hill never testified. His expert report was never admitted. Despite this, I am informed that a full 2,500 pages of text messages appended to Mr. Barry Hill's report were later leaked onto the internet by either Mr. Marraccini, Eckert, or someone else working with them. Okay, and he doesn't have to he can do that. Laura took the witness stand. Michael was sitting 40 feet from her during her testimony. During questioning, Laura became so upset that she lost her composure and was unable to continue because people in the courtroom laughed at her because she said dumb shit. During the recess, Laura and her mother and our medical expert, Dr. Baldribble, assembled in the side room. Laura was shaking, told me she didn't believe it was possible for her to continue testifying with Marraccini glaring at her. After extensive efforts, they didn't leave the courtroom. Weren't they still sitting in the courtroom? Yeah, police were everywhere. Based on my personal observations, Laura... After extensive efforts from myself and Dr. Dribblechill, we were eventually able to calm her down. She was able to complete her testimony. It was clear to me that the traumatic nature of the situation directly affected Laura's testimony and demeanor in court. Based on my observations, Laura and discussions with her on June 10th, I have no doubt that Marraccini's actions that day were extremely upsetting to her. I believe Laura is particularly concerned that Marraccini knowingly and intentionally violated this court order by traveling to Arizona for the purpose of harassing her. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Exhibit A. We already read this. This was his email to Miss Pollock. Long-winded email. We already read that. Then we have the granted TRO. Exhibit B. Dear Greg, attached, okay, the findings in this case. Oh, I want to read this. These are expert depositions. Okay, so here's his experience and what he's done. Okay, great. Background evidence. Apple MacBook Air. Wait. Hold on. Okay, so this is his experience background. The office was contacted by Michael Marraccini, who requested that his personal computer be processed as evidence pertaining to ongoing litigation for which he is a witness. Specifically, he requested text messages and related attachments to or from Laura Owens using the phone number to be extracted, documented, and analyzed for any evidence tampering. On May of 2024, the computer was hand-delivered by Marraccini. The computer was released to him on May 6th, and with the recommendation that it remain out of service and securely stored until the conclusion of any pending or potential litigation. Full forensic image copy was created using Celebrite. It was noted during the forensic imaging process that the computer's internal clock read 3/9/2017 when the actual date was 5/4/2024. This is an indicator that the computer has not been in regular service for some time. All text message and associated attachments were tagged and produced in a standard Celebrite inspector report. The report was produced as a single 2489-page PDF document with links to the associated attachments. The report's identified with the date time marker. This report and attachment file structure is provided to Mr. Marraccini, Mr. Woodnick via Dropbox. So there are more text messages that we haven't seen. To all three of them. All right. Okay. And again, I'm in Texas, not there. Yeah. There are a ton more texts they did not release, but Laura claims they did. So many we didn't see. Oh, I'm very interested. I have examined the file structure and continuity of the text message streams and associated attachments found on this computer. I find no evidence of tampering or alterations. Okay. I have confirmed as further. Okay. And then this is what he found. Okay. And then there's no evidence tampering. Okay, great. All right. We got to 101. Now what I want to do is I want to watch Jack's video because I have not seen it yet. So that's what we're going to do right now. And we're going to have fun doing it.
Have you heard about the note written on a napkin that became the star of a TED Talk? Well, Laura Owens claimed that the note was given to her by an anonymous stranger on a plane, and she said it saved her life, and it was the corner piece of her TED Talk. Now, since filming that TED Talk, Laura Owens' life has been anything but easy. She spent a lot of time in court, she's filed for bankruptcy, and she is facing trial on 14 felony charges, including fraud.
Oh my God! I was like, what happened? That scared the shit out of me. Jump scare. Whoa, my God. Okay.
Perjury and identity theft. So it's not surprising that her past stories are being reevaluated. So who really wrote the note? Stand by for a fascinating deep dive into that. Now, if you're new to this channel or you're a regular here, this is a very different kind of episode. We're about to find out how much you can learn from one note on a napkin. Welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I've studied the words of thousands of criminals, so I can show you how people use words to lie, to cheat, and manipulate, and what the truth sounds like too. So the TEDx talk from Laura Owens was designed to take her to the next level as a content creator and as a survivor of abuse. And that abuse is at the center of the napkin note. But now, given everything, people are starting to doubt everything that Laura Owens said. So we're going to build a profile from this note as to who could have written it. I'm not going to give you a name. I'm going to build up a profile looking at the words that are used and the construction of the note as well to build a profile of the person that sent the note. So let's go through it bit by bit and let's look at seeing how we can build this profile. And let's read the note first. It starts, Dear girlfriend, I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation. And then we have the word have, but that's scored out and it's let. So read.
So here's the thing, right? Like everybody thinks the note is real. The note lady is real. The napkin is real. It's just not that everybody believes that the lady who is claimed to be napkin lady wrote the note.
Overhear your conversation to let you know you are a very underlined, beautiful young woman that should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter, not bullying. You are being, and then it said verbally abused, but the verbally has been scored out as well. So you are being abused and he will never love you like you deserve. I'm very concerned about you and I'm praying for you. Run from him and get help and protection. He doesn't care what you think or say or do. He is a very sick man and will make you sick if you stay with him. Please take this to heart and get help fast. And then it's signed Karen, and there is an email address on it as well, which I have obliterated here because I don't want people sending anything to that email address. Thank you very much. So that is the note. So what do I have on it? Right. Let's start building the profile. So overall, the stated audience seems to be Laura, dear girlfriend, and we can presume that Laura is the girlfriend here. No, it's not addressed to Laura. That would suggest it came from someone who knew her if it said to Laura, but this says dear girlfriend, suggesting that this person might not know Laura. However, please go with me, that might not be true. Now let's look at the medium that's here. It's a note written on a napkin. I'm going to take the napkin out at first. It's a letter. It's written a letter. So it's there. It exists. Now, in the story Laura tells, this was the person sitting in front of her on the plane, overheard something happen between her and her boyfriend at the time, and this person was so concerned, they wrote the note and passed it to her when her boyfriend went to the bathroom. So that is the sort of story and the background of it. Now, that means that this could have been something else. This could have been a conversation. When the ex-boyfriend went to the bathroom, maybe it could have been a conversation of, are you all right? Are you okay? Do you need help? A bit of advice for you or anything like that. But no, the person sending this note chose not to do that. Now, was that because they wanted to document things, to have like a written, solid document? As we can see, there is a photograph that exists of the note. It could be, I guess, someone who's shy, doesn't want to get involved and talk, someone who is a bit frightened as well so they didn't want to have the conversation in case they were rebuffed or so on. They just passed the note.
Thank you, no thanks.
Now, this note could be about documenting things so that it is written down what has happened for some reason. Also, this now talks about the person who sent the note, because this is more work than having that conversation. The conversation would be easy. When there is a chance, turn around and have that conversation. Maybe not easy, maybe there'd be some trepidation, but this took work to put together. Also, interestingly, this is less deniable. If there was a conversation, they could then claim, I didn't say that. No, that wasn't me. I didn't say that. Whereas a note that is handed to you that you've written is less deniable. These are your words and that you have written. It's way more permanent. And it's written. It's an old-fashioned letter, actually. And look, I don't want this makes me feel bad as well. This is an old-fashioned way of communicating. Letters used to be very commonplace. They're not so commonplace now. Actually, the thought of writing a letter to someone longhand with a pen, that's an old-fashioned thing. So is this an older person that has done this, who's considered the fact that a letter could be written? Then there's something else. It's written on a napkin from Wow Air. There's a logo at the bottom of it. So this is definitely a
That's a great question. I'm going to write that down because I don't remember if he said he saw the actual note.
Wow Air napkin. That means that the person who wrote the note was either on a Wow Air flight or has some sort of access to a napkin that was on a Wow Air flight, maybe worked for now Wow Air, or knows someone who was on a flight, or knows someone who works there. But, this ties the person who wrote the note down to someone
yes or no.
who's been on a Wow Air flight. I said this took a lot of work. There's 100 words in this note. We write about 20 to 25 words a minute when we're writing out longhand.
Said he didn't.
So, yeah, that again is someone who certainly had time to write the note. This wasn't done in a rush. And if you look at the note, if you can see it, you can see it doesn't appear to have been done in too much of a rush. The writing is all very neat and very legible. And therefore, this is something that took, 20 words a minute, 25 words a minute, 100 words. This took 4 minutes plus the planning and what am I going to say? There's 2 things scored out, but it does look like the words were well thought about there. So it was at least 5 minutes that this person had the time to write this note. And just going to check here because I have a napkin. Is it slower to write on a napkin? So just let me get my pen and let me just try. Actually, I'm going to use the pen that I normally write with first of all because I think... it's not... it's a bit smudgy. Dear... So
And also it looks like the writing... See, this looks like one of mine, like an ink pen, more inky. It looks like that one's a ballpoint, the one that was the note was written with.
Paper is sort of bouncing up as I write, so it's going to take longer. Let's try a ballpoint pen. Dear that's actually harder. with
Yeah,
that
but it
pen.
looks
So
like
they
it was
obviously
a
got
ballpoint pen. It doesn't look like it came from like a inky pen like the first one he has.
friend lucky. They obviously got lucky with their pen as well. So that's the thoughts there on the sort of construction of the note and everything like that. But look at the layout as well. There's no sign of cramming, apart from maybe that area down around the bottom of the note, which where the logo is and so on. There's just a little bit of cramming down there. But apart from that, it's as if it's been worked out really well that the words here will fit. I know that if I was doing this,
I think that's one of the biggest arguments too, right? There's a lot of thought, there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time for this to be happening. You know,
then I would be like, optimistically starting a word towards the end of a line and then not having enough time to fit it in and having to use smaller letters or, something where the word is on two different lines and so on. There's none of that there. So this is maybe someone who is very good at planning, someone who's maybe quite patient, or, maybe someone with a few Wow Air napkins so that they did some dry runs and then did the final one as well. Don't know, but there's some more things to put into the profile there. Also, the handwriting, as I said, is very legible. You can make it out, which means statistically it's more likely to be a woman. I'm not saying it's guaranteed it's a woman, but legible handwriting, neat handwriting is a hallmark more generally of women than men. So that's something in the profile that points towards this being written by a woman. And as I said, it's a letter. So
that's a good point. She underlined very beautiful. Very beautiful.
that means it could be potentially an older woman, not, a 15-year-old woman or an 18-year-old woman would be less likely to write something like that. But yeah, got some data points already in this. So let's now start to look at the words in this to break it down and get us some profiles. So it starts here with dear girlfriend. Right, so much can be got just from that. First of all, that word at the start, dear. That's a very formal how you start a letter. There's a little bit of warmth in it. It's not sir, madam, and then the very officialness coming in there. But it is dear girlfriend. So again, this suggests that, that's how you were taught back in the day when people were writing letters to each other as to how you start.
Exactly. It's like, it's such a weird, like you're sending a quick note because this woman's getting abused and you're like, dear girlfriend, I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation to have, to let you know that you are a very beautiful young woman. Ugh.
Dear, and then a name. So dear Laura, dear Jack. However, this person doesn't know the person they're writing to, so they go for girlfriend. Again, girlfriend, that suggests it's from a woman. If a man wrote that, it would mean something different. If a man wrote girlfriend or dear girlfriend, it would suggest they are romantically linked to that person. But it suggests it's from a woman. And look, if it was just started girlfriend and then had some really...
That's a good point, too. The underlines and strike-throughs have to be done carefully so you don't, rip through the napkin. That's a good point.
Solid advice on it, I'd be saying this would be a younger woman because that might be something that's a bit more of a, and I'm using this term relatively, it's a bit more of a hip term, girlfriend, but instead we've got dear girlfriend, which makes me think, again, this is someone older. So, or maybe someone pretending to be a bit younger using the language of girlfriend, but can't quite pull it off because they put the dear in front of it. Now,
Dear
after that
boss,
salutation, now this is really interesting. They feel no need to introduce themselves to Laura. To all intents and purposes, this is a cold message, reaching out, and they do nothing to introduce themselves at all. Now, why is that?
Yeah, like in the beginning, hey, listen, I hear everything you're going through. Like you would say something about yourself, like, hey, I heard him screaming at you. I am doing this because I am, right? And she doesn't say anything about herself or why she's doing that. That's interesting.
Got some things here, right? So I've got some cold emails I was sent this week. So this one's from Alison. And it's Alison. Hi, never a truer word, which partly is my name. We're an SEO first platform, and we've optimized over 100,000 videos on YouTube, so we know how to get your back catalogue found. Right. So that is cold outreach. Is there some introduction there, setting the context, telling me who they are, telling me why they are getting in touch. Lindsay sent me a cold email as well. Hi,
Now
Jack
she
Fox.
finally
Better,
gets to
got
be
the name.
called girlfriend.
I believe my co-founder reached out to you a while ago about helping you make extra revenue from your YouTube channel by launching or scaling your online course or community. No thanks, Lindsay. But again, this is a cold approach, and the very first thing Lindsay says in her email is an introduction, setting out who she is and why she's contacting me.
I
And
just
we
don't know why you would. I mean, I guess if you were like wildly, you didn't want confrontation, but I don't understand like why take the time to write a note, and why not just turn around when you know he went to the bathroom and you turn around and you're like, are you okay? Like, do you need me to get you help? Are you okay? The taking the time to write a whole note is weird.
don't have that in this note. I've got a text message that I got today from someone. I haven't spoken to them for 6 months, but I have a relationship with them. We have met, we have gone through the introduction phase, and their text starts, "Good morning, we hope you're having a great summer. An update on the case." And then they went and gave me an update on the case that we did some work on. So that person who knows me didn't feel the need to do any introduction. They didn't introduce themselves and say, "Remember me," or "This is what we were working on." They just went straight into the content. And that's what this does. So is this someone who knows Laura, feels they need no introduction? Nothing at all. I'm the woman sitting in front of you. I'm a concerned person who's heard what you're going through. They give no introduction at all. So is this someone that knows Laura? They feel they need no introduction? I mean, certainly as a data point, this
that's a
person
good
does
point.
not feel the need to make that
You don't need to introduce yourself if they already know who you are.
introduction. They don't even give a reason for contacting. I need to get in touch with you. They seem very confident as well that they won't be rebuffed sending this message. There's no apology. Apologies if this is out of turn or out of place, or
Right.
if you don't want to hear this.
So sorry if I'm overstepping my bounds. Like yeah.
There's none of that from them at all. Just no. They seem really certain that their message will land. Which is, remember I said maybe they were frightened, which is why they put this in writing rather than turn around and talk to the person. There doesn't seem to be any lack of confidence inside the words of this whatsoever. So no, just my opinion. I hope you don't mind me saying this. There's nothing like that
That would give the
whatsoever.
plot
They seem
away.
to be very confident that this will land well. That's what's missing. You might have noticed there was a lot in this note that suggested urgency. I'm very concerned about you. Run from him. Take this to heart and get help fast is all in there. This real urgency of getting help fast. Run. I'm very concerned about you. Not just concerned, I'm very concerned about you. And yet, the opening is really long and drawn out. I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation to let you know you're a very beautiful young woman. There is no urgency. It's like
Right.
quite,
You are so beautiful.
laid back. And I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation to have me reach out. You're a very beautiful young woman. It's a lot of it is about urgency and moving fast, but this introduction actually is quite leisurely. The other thing I don't think this person has is I don't think they've suffered abuse, because they don't try and create that connection at all by saying, I've suffered abuse myself and I realised the signs, or I was subjected to some really awful bullying. They mentioned bullying there. You should be crying with wonderful laughter, not bullying. But they don't state that they're talking from any kind of experience or I had a friend who was just like you, or my daughter or my mother was, in a similar situation. That's why I realised that. And, they don't try to do that, which is not me making a judgment on it. That's me making an observation on it. I don't think this person has suffered abuse themselves. And also, they make no feeling anything in their words that makes them aware that this is quite a dangerous thing to do. If the abuser sees that
The Lord, don't drag me into this.
the abused person has this note, then they might get mad and take it out again and cause more abuse. So that's some data points starting to build up for me now. Now, is this person religious? because they talk later about I'm praying for you. And here we have, I know the Lord had me overhear you. Now, one thing just to point out with that, they've capitalized Lord, which is very proper, maybe a little bit old school, so maybe an older person again, but Lord is capitalized. And also, there's no spelling mistakes all the way through this note that I could see. The grammar all sounds really good as well, which suggests this person is educated, not necessarily educated to like degree level or PhD level, just they have a degree of education. They know how to write very neatly, and they know the basics there of some education. But anyway, back to that religion. So I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation. Now, this is a form of anonymous note profiling. This would be used sometimes if someone got a ransom demand. And one of the things that's there in ransom demands a lot is someone trying to throw the person who gets the ransom demand off the scent of who they actually are. So very often, and that's a priority with people sending ransom notes. Amy. So they might feel like the very first thing they have to do, because it's a priority, is hide their identity or throw people off the scent. The John Benet Ramsey note, for example, a very famous ransom note, starts with listen up, and then it says we are the small foreign faction. Which we know is not true, because it wasn't someone from a small foreign faction. But the very first thing they said was to try and throw people off the scent as to who had written the ransom note. And is that what this is doing as well? I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation is to get people going, oh, who wrote this? It's someone who is religious, has a deep religion, and believes that the Lord guides them and that God has had them overhear this conversation. But is that true? Or is that the first thing that's mentioned because it's something put in there to sort of hide the identity of the person that is reading the note? Also, using religion, I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation and I am praying for you. These things can be done to bolster someone's credibility. Oh, this is someone that mentions the Lord. This is someone that mentions praying. This must come from a good person, therefore a real person, because people don't lie about the Lord doing these things and so on. Yet they do all the time. But are they invoking God, invoking religion to appear more credible in their writing here? And we mentioned that a couple of words are scored out. So it says overhear your conversation to have you know, and then they change that to let you know. And also you are being verbally abused was written, and then that's been changed to you are being abused. So this person, and when I talked about the planning and the time taken to do this, they haven't just written the note, they've gone back and read it at some point, whether it was as they were writing it or whether it was after they'd written it, they then went back to make it stronger. But that suggests to me this could be someone used to working with words, someone who works with words often and is very used to writing things out, going back and changing words, altering words, taking words out, editing to make this stronger. So what type of people does that? It could be an editor themselves, someone who is used to editing books, newspapers, magazines, blogs, websites. I don't know. Maybe a marketer. Marketers would be writing copy quite a lot and go back and change it to make it more effective. I'm sure lawyers must do this when they're writing motions and papers. They write it and then go back again and make it better. Or writers themselves will do it. Someone who's written books or newspaper articles or anything like that, or journalists, so on. They would know or they would be used to writing something and going back and changing words. People who have to deliver things that make an impact, CEOs of companies and so on, very used to writing things and changing the words to actually get the right impact from someone. So there, I can't say exactly what profession they got, but I think there is a chance that the person who wrote this works with words for a living or a highly developed.
Works with words for a living? As people have said in my chat, a older woman conspirator, perhaps?
Hobby. Back to the very beginning again. I know the Lord had me over here is what they say. Now that is very passive. They don't say.
Again, with your conversation, right? Conversation, not your argument, not your disagreement. Right.
They overheard. It's the Lord had me over here. There's no them inside of that. Although the word me is there, it's not I overheard your conversation. It's a little bit more passive. It's not direct and active. So did this person actually, who wrote this, actually hear something? Or is that, did they not? Which is why they're talking in this passive voice there. I noticed they say they hear a conversation. Now, they will go on to say that this is bullying, verbal, scored out, but abuse. They also talk about, what else do they talk about? I'm praying for you, get help and protection. Sick man who will make you sick, doesn't care what you think, say, or do. And yet, when they come to describe that all in one word, the word is conversation. Not confrontation, not argument.
Yep.
Not, heated discussion or anything like that. Much more mundane conversation, things that people do all the time. That was just a conversation that was overheard. Rather than if it's an argument, you would hear an argument. You wouldn't overhear an argument quite so much. Or confrontation or
Or I was surprised or I was taken aback at the way he was talking to you. Like, yeah, I have the handwriting example pulled up. I'll pull it up after we're done watching Jack's video.
off or anything like that. It's just that slightly milder conversation. So are there signs of deception in this note coming up here? Because certainly there's signs that some things don't fit together, like describing bullying, abuse, and so on as just a conversation. There is a contradiction or the tension there in the terms that are there. Now, the first thing, remember, they do seem to say there's a lot urgent going on here, but the first thing that they appear to do is reassure Laura that she is a very beautiful young woman, which is an interesting thing to do when you're trying to say, get help fast. And, in all of this, writing the note, did you know when you would have a chance to do it? Would the thing not be to get help fast right at the very top? And that might be all you have time to write in the note before you get, the opportunity arises to pass it to this woman. But no, they seem to be going quite leisurely. And instead of get help fast, they want to do some reassurance. They have Laura's best interests at heart. They seem very concerned about Laura and letting her know that she is a very beautiful young woman. And why? Well, Laura in her story says that the guy she was having the argument with, called her ugly. This person doesn't refer to any of that. Don't listen to him. You're a very beautiful young woman. Would refer back to the conversation. But again, I get the sense this person didn't hear anything because they're not explicit about anything that was said to Laura there. Let you know you are a very beautiful young woman. And again, I think this hints that it was a woman who said this because young woman, so older woman as well, because if you're consider someone a young woman, you're very probably older than them. So this is someone potentially writing who is older than Laura, calling her a very beautiful young woman, and that persuasive word very in there as well. You're not just a beautiful young woman, you're a very beautiful young woman. So potentially written by someone who values looks and appearances first. It's the very first thing after they mention the Lord in the conversation. It's the very first thing they mention is looks and appearances, and this feels to be the most important thing that they can say to this person, the reassurance that you're a very beautiful young woman. So this seems to be someone who values looks and appearances, especially ahead of any urgency and protection, because they mention those.
I've never thought about somebody else writing the note. I always thought about Laura writing the note, but now that you guys are saying it and the way that it's written, yeah, I wouldn't put it past her mom. That's a very interesting point.
Further on down down in the note. Now, you'll notice how focused this is the first side of the napkin, and you'll notice how focused it is on Laura. I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation, so that's you to Laura. You are a very beautiful young woman, so that's about her as well. That should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter, not bullying. You are being abused. He will never love you like you, and it goes on to say deserve on the second page. So this is all very much about Laura. The only part where it mentions the ex, it explicitly,
and how great she is, right? And how great she could have it. Like you guys said, like the doctors. Your boyfriend should be more supportive. You're right. You're great. You're beautiful. You're this. You're that.
is he will never love you, because you should have a man that makes you cry is over there. It's a concept. It's not about the person she's with at all. Cry with laughter is a concept. So this person really is focused on Laura, and that's not a judgment, that's just an observation there, that person is really focused on Laura. Laura's the only person really mentioned on that first side of the napkin, apart from maybe me and this person saying the Lord had me do this. They don't use the word with, make you cry with wonderful laughter. They use W and a slash there to denote with, which someone who is British is not something we do a lot in Britain. It's much more of a North American concept. So there's another data point that the person who wrote this is most likely North American, because that W slash to denote with is really commonplace in North
I use
America,
that all the
much
time.
less so anywhere else in the world. So yeah, I think this is an older American woman. Seems to be the stuff that's coming through so far. Now this is really, really interesting to me. You are a very beautiful young woman that should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter. That word that's too many that's. The word that is interesting there.
No, but you know what other people were saying, because I was looking at that too, and other people were saying they could have had a napkin for something else, like their snacks or something. So it didn't necessarily need to have a cocktail on it.
It's not who, which would be very personal about Laura. You know, you are a very beautiful young woman. Who you should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter. That would be very personal about the person. Instead, it's about a concept that should have a man that makes you a beautiful woman. That should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter. That sounds like a rule book. Beautiful young woman should have a man that makes her happy because she's beautiful, but not that sounds like a concept, not about Laura specifically, just that all beautiful young women should have a man there. So yeah, it's more about the rule. It's more about the concept in life that, you should have a partner that makes you happy, rather than the person, Laura, you should have a man that makes you cry. Now that again strikes me when we're looking at the person who wrote the note, potentially older, potentially traditional, that, every woman needs a man, that sort of thing. Also, they've said that a woman needs a man, not a someone, because, there's a lot of fluidity in relationships these days. So I think this is, again, a sign that this is a potentially older, traditional person with fixed ideas about men and women being together. I'm not saying all older people are that way at all. I'm just saying it's more likely that someone who thinks of this rule book that woman and a man should be together in all that entails, I think that is maybe someone slightly older, someone with traditional ideas, or certainly likely to be that there, and probably a straight person as well, because they see women and men as being together. We've got more passive language in there, so you can see there is no actor in the bullying. So you should make you cry with wonderful laughter, not bullying. Not bullying like you are being bullied by this person, or bullying as he is to you, or he is a bully. There's no person in bullying at all. It's just the concept of bullying. There's no person being added to the bullying, which again makes me think, is this written by someone who actually witnessed anything at all? Because there's no actors in there. There's plenty of concepts, but there's no actual people with things happening to them in there at all. What else do we have on the passive stuff? Being abused is passive as well.
I
because
find it interesting that they took being verbally and then marked it out and was like, no, abused, which was an interesting afterthought.
You are being abused, and you can see again there is a victim of the abuse, so you are being abused, has you as the victim of abuse, but there is nothing to suggest who is doing the abusing. You are being abused by who? None of that is there as well. So we've got two really strong actions, the two big allegations in this of bullying and abuse, not connected to anyone at all. Again, it's all very passive and makes me think, did this person really overhear anything? I'm picking up some deception inside this note. We can see a little bit of escalation as well going on through this. So it starts with conversation. That's quite fine. Yeah, that's quite nice. Bullying.
That's another good point. Not just laughter, wonderful laughter. Like there's these big words, right? There's always these adjectives of what things should be. It's always more than just the thing.
That's not as good as
Verbose. That's the word somebody said. I think Jody said it earlier. And that's a word that comes to mind. It's always just these big, just a lot of words, a lot of descriptions.
conversation. That is, bullying is not good at all. And that bullying then becomes abuse, which is just some escalation as this person goes through this note, not starting from the escalated point. As like I said, they don't seem to, although they say there is some urgency in this, they don't seem to want to.
That's another great point. How would this person know that they're a couple, not a family? Yes.
To get there at the very beginning with high priority. You are being abused. Get on out right now. You deserve someone that makes you happy. You're a beautiful young woman. That would be putting the priority, the abuse at the very top. But instead, it's got this escalating pattern of talking inside it as well. Now, I said earlier, does this person know Laura? Because I said they don't make any introduction to introduce themselves to Laura, just like that text that I got from someone who I know made no introduction whatsoever. Also, notice do they have a little bit of insight into Laura as a person? Talks about he will never love you like you deserve. Well, how does this person know how Laura deserves to be loved unless they know a lot about her personality, who she is, and so on? If you were just overhearing, this could be a horrible person. I mean, bad things happen to horrible people sometimes, but they seem to have made this judgment or have this judgment in their head that Laura deserves to be loved in a certain way. And also, you're a very beautiful young woman. How do they know? Well, they don't say they've seen this person. They don't say they've seen Laura. And even then, was it just a glance? And we don't look our best on plane flights. So are they talking more about the character of the person? Do they believe that Laura is a very beautiful young woman? Is this someone who knows Laura? What else do we have in here? Well, look, let's look at the second page of the note, because that's just the first page done now. The second one has just a little bit less to note about it. You'll notice that on this second page, instead of the word "and" appearing, if you can see it, it's...
Also, I don't know if they would have to alert the attendants. If this was loud enough to disrupt the people around them, you would think that the attendants would already be on it.
A plus sign there, which again, is this someone saving space? And realize that writing "and" is going to take up more space than this plus sign. So is that, again, just showing this is someone who likes planning, or someone who's had some dry runs at doing this and has now done the final one and knows that they have to save some space by putting these crosses in? Because if they use "ands," then it's not all going to get there. Or, I don't know. We also have the email address. We also have the email address where the person says, gives Karen and then @ and then says the email address, and it's the @ sign that is there. Again, is that just very shorthand for you can find me there or so on? I don't really know, but lots of symbols where words could be. Again,
the second page seems more rushed than the first page.
Is that planning? Is that someone younger who uses symbols rather than words all the time? Don't know. The second half says, I'm very concerned about you and I'm praying for you. And this is the only part in the note where the person who's written the note actually talks about themselves. And they give two things. One of them is a feeling, I'm very concerned about you. And one of them is an action, I'm praying for you, in the present tense, like praying as they were writing it. I don't know. But that's the only information they give about themselves at all. They don't put themselves in any other way. Like I said, they don't say what relationship they have to Laura in terms of I'm sitting in front of you. They don't say that they recognize.
And what's interesting is when Jack said that they would introduce yourself, that would be the way that they would introduce themselves. Like, hey, listen, I'm very concerned about what I'm hearing. That would maybe be the first thing that you would say, not only who you are, but the why you're doing this.
This abuse in someone else, in their own lives from some point or anything like that. They just don't seem to want to give very much about themselves at all. The only time they reveal anything about themselves is this, I'm very concerned about you and I'm praying for you. Someone who just doesn't want to give a lot about themselves whatsoever. But look, we've got praying, we've got the Lord. Potentially this is a Christian person, or potentially these things are put in to hide the identity of the person there. The other thing, this is something that is missing. So they've got plenty of advice. Run from him, get help and protection. Take this to heart and get help fast. He's a very sick man, will make you sick if you stay with him. They have lots and lots of advice for Laura in this. However, they don't offer any help whatsoever. And when you think about the whole situation here, were they so concerned? They're very concerned, but not in the moment of, if you need me right now, I'm here for you. This person is not offering help like that whatsoever. It was on a flight to Iceland, I think, and it was on the end of December, so it was heading towards New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So this was a tourist flight to Iceland, very unlikely to be a business one. And Laura seemed to be going there with this person. They describe it as abusive, and everyone was going to Iceland, and they don't seem to show any offer of help while you're in Iceland, while you're alone and isolated, which is what an abused person might need. The person who wrote this note offers no help whatsoever. They just don't offer any help. Again, on this second page, is there a sign here that this person knows Laura, or this is deceptive? He doesn't care what you think or say or do. Right, now, they said they've overheard a conversation. So I could understand if there was some words going on in a conversation why you might think, all right, he doesn't care what you think, because whenever you share your opinion, he's not listening, or he ignores it, or he tells you you're wrong, because that's what you've noticed in a conversation. The same thing could be said for anything you say. He just doesn't listen to you. He doesn't pay any attention to you or anything like that. But this word here, or do. Or do. How does the person writing this note know, or has come to the opinion that this boyfriend that Laura's with doesn't care what you do? I mean, it could come out in a conversation, but do is about actions. It sounds as if they know some background or some more stories about this relationship. They know things that Laura would say about, I did this and he didn't care. I did this and he wasn't interested. Maybe that was part of the conversation, but I'm interested in why the person on the back of just overhearing a conversation can say he doesn't care what you do. That, again, that's what makes me think there's more to this. There's some deception going on inside of this. Again, we have the very same thing here with, he is a very sick man, and he will make you sick if you stay with him. How does this person know that Laura isn't already sick? That there's been years of this going on, and, abuse victims get worn down and, become changed people on the back of abuse. But this person seems to think that hasn't happened, and that, Laura's fine. She's not sick, but will be sick if she stays with him. And no expanse as well. If he's a very sick man, but how? Again, this makes me think it's not from what he says or from what I've heard, he is a very sick man. From the way he's acting, the way he's treating you, he is a very sick man. There's no expansion like that whatsoever in there. This makes me think there is deception going on there, because they don't quite finish off the thought. They don't tell us how they know any of this stuff. She does say run from him, which was an interesting one. Run from him. Now, I was doing this analysis with someone else, someone who has some children. And I said, if their child that was, they're older children, so their child who's been in a long-term relationship, I said, if you thought they should end it, would you say run from him? Because they've been...
You would say, get out of there. You need to get yourself out of there.
In a relationship for a long time, and they said no. I think I'd be saying leave him. You've got to break up with him. Ending a long-term relationship would be more like leave him, or break up with him. So break that relationship. They said they would use the phrase run from him more if one of their children was in a very casual relationship, on a first date, or something that's much more casual. No ties, not living together, haven't bought a house together, don't have children together or anything like that. That is a situation where they would use run from him towards this. So again, Is there some knowledge there? Because they haven't said any of that, break off the relationship. They've said run from him, as if they know this is quite a loose relationship, not not living together, got no, property or children together or anything like that. And that's why they seem to have this picture that the relationship is quite loose and can be run from. So again, does this show some knowledge of what was going on there, that this was not a long-term relationship? It was much more of a casual thing. Finally, in all of this, I've got two more things in all of this. This person is very judgmental of Mike. He's a sick man. He doesn't care. Less judgmental of Laura. They seem to be very much on Laura's side and very concerned about Laura. And we can build that into the profile because that seems to be the person that is writing this note. They say, please take this to heart and get help fast. And then this is the email at the end is all written strangely. It's Karen at, and then some sort of username at AOL.com. Now, AOL.com, Gmail's all the rage these days. Does that?
I have an AOL, and every time I write it down, people are like, AOL. And I'm like, it's my junk mail from when I was like 13, homie.
Again, point to it being an older person that they've got an AOL.
Hey! Jack, I will not take this slander.
Address. In fact, I believe the person has said, who claims to have written the note, says they used an old address. To have an old address, you must be an older person. So the email address seems a bit strange, but also it was hard for me to, when you look at the note, hard for me to work out exactly what the email address is. So does this person want to be found? Does this person want to be contacted in the back of all that? Do they not offer any help because they would have to give routes to get help, and giving routes to get help would mean that anyone who found this note could find out who did it? And what would be the reasons for that? So that's the note breaking down. That's taken a long time to look at 100 words. But I think from all of that, we could build a profile. And I'll build the profile of the person I think wrote the note next.
Let's fucking go, Jack.
Now, if you're getting something from this episode, then help yourself by subscribing to this channel. That will ensure you get more episodes like this coming your way to grow your skills at listening to the words that people use. And you can help me and you can help others by liking this episode, sharing it or commenting on it, because that tells this platform this is the kind of content worth getting and showing to others. And that might mean someone who really needs to see it gets to see it because you press the like button or because you comment.
I can only do that on my phone.
And by the way, are you worried about getting judged when you speak, or are you write? Maybe not on a napkin, but when you write, then let me help you get over that, because you can sign up for my free Credible newsletter where I will show you how to talk or write on a napkin or an email or anything like that with confidence and authority, even when you're under pressure. The link to sign up for that newsletter is in the show notes. Okay, let's do the profile. Right, from all of that, I think the age, the gender of the person and the background comes through the strongest. So I've put all my observations down. So likely female again, likely an older woman, likely the older age group, likely older, potentially older person with traditional beliefs, likely older and straight rather than gay, and American. I think my conclusion, and this is probably the strongest one I have on who wrote this note, is an older American woman. Certainly
an older American woman with the help of her younger American daughter.
Older than Laura is the person that wrote this note. Now, what's this person's connection to Laura and the situation that is being described? Well, this is slightly less sure, but this person maybe knows Laura. They need no introduction.
Bruce, you would laugh if you know what my AOL name is and why I chose it. It is the most 8th grade shit in the world. I'll have to tell you in the DMs.
They maybe have knowledge of Laura's mindset and actions. They have maybe knowledge of the relationship that Laura was in. Certainly someone who cares about Laura and has Laura's best interest to heart and is very judgmental of Mike and concerned about Laura. Someone who did not feel the need to introduce themselves or herself when they wrote the note. My conclusion in all of that is it's either someone who's just very intuitive and a guesser, or heard a lot of conversation before writing the note, or this was written by someone with knowledge of Laura and the situation that she claimed she was in. Looking at the person, I noted a few times educated, also likely works with words because of those
I
changes
swear, if he rolls up on one of these fucking slides and it's a face, it's Jan's face, I'm gonna pee.
and edits that were there. So this could be someone, also I think this is someone who values knowledge and certainty, because they did say, I want you to know things as well. So I think this is, someone who is educated and values knowledge, and certainly is good with words, maybe professionally good with words. And what was their intent in writing this? Well, things I've noted down, they're on Laura's side, they're sympathetic to Laura. But they're not as concerned as they portray themselves, because they didn't offer any help, and they also, no urgency at the beginning of this. Potentially deceptive in this note, because some of the things they say are inconsistent and the words don't hang together. Someone who seems to value looks and appearance instead of urgency and protection.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Like, she was so concerned about Laura's safety that she was like, but also you're very beautiful.
Likely someone who's not been abused, potentially Christian, but I don't think they are. I think Christians are red herring to put you off realizing who wrote this note. And this is someone who only had advice to offer, but not help. Not a great friend, really. No help on offer, just advice from this person. We have the context of the note. So this person had at least 5 minutes to write this, plus planning time, and I think there was a lot of planning time. This doesn't make it a deceptive note. This just means this was something definitely that was not done on the spur of the moment. It's not a quick scribble. Get help fast. Go. It is something that took a long time to do, and you're on a plane. Other people would be able to see this as well. So, this is someone who had a long time to do it. Someone who doesn't want to share their identity. They gave their first name at a strange old email address. They don't offer any biographical details or biological details, but they don't offer anything about them whatsoever. Didn't feel the need to introduce themselves at all. Maybe written by someone who wants this documented. As I said, this could have been a conversation. Instead, it turned into a note and a napkin. Maybe someone shy or frightened, or maybe shy or frightened of being having their identity known. And finally, we have one specific physical clue. This is someone who flew on WOW Air or knows someone who did fly on WOW Air. And that's the profile. 100 words of looking at a note on a napkin, and that is the profile. I would say, going back over it, older, woman, educated, has a way with words, some potential deception going on inside of all this. Very concerned with Laura, very judgmental of the boyfriend that Laura was with. What do you think? Because I've worked with someone on this and we've come up with a hell of a lot, but the more mine's the better. Has anything I've said not chimed? Have you got anything else? Do let me know in the comments if you can, or drop me an email if you want to stay anonymous, very much like the person who wrote on the napkin. You'll find the email address on the website. But also, any names spring to mind when we think of who wrote that note, given the profile that's there. Or if you can expand the profile or change my profile. Is there anything that's done with your thinking on who wrote the note that starred in a TED Talk? Do let me know if you can. If you want to get in touch in the socials, it's at Jack Fox, NATW, absolutely everywhere. If you want more on this, including more on the Laura Owens story and everything that came through in the Love Trap podcast, then do check out neveratruerword.com. We'll see you soon for something new from Never a Truer Word. And remember, the truth is always in the words.
Yay, Jack! Yay, Jack. All right, listen. I'm changing my mind again. Oh, I changed this. Oops. I'm changing my mind again. I think it might be Jan. 195. I did. Dear girlfriend. Actually, I don't have a napkin, but I do have a piece of paper. I could time that. So let's look at the other thing that I had pulled up real quick. Let's look at the fact that, let's see, where is it? Here it is. So we can go through this. This is on Reddit. Let me make me small here. Okay. So here's the bullying, right? We're going to take a look at this. Pet spider, stop it. I know, I'm sorry. I yawn all the time down here. So the bullying here, and what are we looking at? What is it that we're looking at? Oh, the Y's. Okay, so let's look at the Y's. Whoa. So it's got this little whip around, maybe a little hook, a little bubble, and a whip. All right. So where else is there a Y? I don't know. Oh, here. Okay. Oh, where she was writing in the DVO. I see it. Okay, I know what we're looking at now. How did I just have this? Ay. All right. So here and a little whoop, it goes back up. Sometimes I change mine. Like sometimes I'll just do a straight line and then sometimes I'll do a thing. So the THs are connected with a little whoop. All these are going to have sounds, just so you guys know. He's just a little. Come on, reset. All right, let me. I'm going to punch myself in the face. I just had it so nicely. Okay. Nope. This. I want this. There we go. But now how do I move it? There we go. This is what I want. Sort of. TH. So this has a little. Sorry, I'm making you dizzy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ay, ay, ay. Sometimes neater, sometimes lady. But this has a little boop. And also, though, it's got, like, if you look at this little tail down here, thank you, no thanks. It's got, like, a little line here. So it's a little bubble here and an H. But it looks like it starts here and then around here and then around here. And the same thing. Here and then here and around here. This one, there's a pen lift to go here. So this is similar. The Y, the only thing I would say about the Y is this goes up like that a little bit at the end, the Y. So the Ks, right? Ks and Ws. I know this is boom, boom, like that, right? It comes around almost like a U shape and then curves back in. I wish I could hook my pen up to this thing so that we could draw on this, but my pen doesn't always hook up. This actually looks opposite of that. So this isn't a U shape or curved in. This is like U and then back around and an up and then a back around. These are not the same. These come out. This is like a little U shape, but then this comes out, so it doesn't come back around. So these, I don't find them to be similar. Oh, the other people, yeah. Well, there's still that pen lift here. There's no line right here. And then we have the W's, which here, a little whoop, whoop. And that looks similar to here. Whoop, whoop. And then we get over to the R's, RE's, and the E's. So the R always connects to the middle line of the E, R, and around. And here, R, this looks connected. But this looks a little taller than these. This doesn't look as flat. But this is connected. And that's connected. These two E's are one piece. That's interesting. Interesting. T to the H on the loop as well. Right. Right. All right. And then this is the S's. So it comes around in a C shape and then sort of straight. Around and then back. Around in a C straight or in a C shape and then back. Around and more straight on the bottom. Around and more straight. This one would be the most This one looks the most like it, I think, in my opinion. And then we have the R's and the, what is this? The R's. Okay, so you have a little straight line here. It goes up and around and then curves back through. So same thing. It goes up. It has this little kickoff up here, goes up and around, and then curves back out this way. Not as much as this one, but it still has that little kicker outer this way. Then we have the small r, which is it's very short in here. And it kicks up a little bit. I mean, it looks similar. It's just a line, but I can't see because it's mixed in with this A. Are we comparing Jan to Lowe's? We're comparing Lowe's to the napkin. So then it's the pluses, which I use pluses. I think my writing on a napkin would look much different on paper. It's the same for me beyond a reasonable doubt. One is on paper, one is on a napkin. It won't be perfect. It's the cumulative effect. We need the guy from Corey to confirm. It is very similar, I have to tell you. I mean, I'm not a handwriting expert, but it seems oddly similar. So we have the pluses. I write my pluses like this. So you go down and then this is connected. There's a little loop. My pen never comes up. Same thing here. Line, boom. So here's the same thing. And then this one, there would be like a little loop here. You can't really tell. The M's. I don't find these M's to be similar. These, yes. These, no. These come down far. And also they're separated. These two are very close in the middle, and these are not. And they also both have a little tail up here, and these do not. So it's down and in the middle, and then another jump out, and then a slant down that way. Whereas this one is just around and around. These are very close, so these are different. The O's, oh, that's interesting. This O has a little whoop in there. If you look really closely, there's a little pen mark. And this one also comes back inside the O. And then this one connects. But it's hard too with the when it's in the copy machine because you don't know how that's altering. The P's, I don't find, well, so it goes down and then comes around, goes up, and then around. So this would go down and up and around. I mean, they're similar in the way that you would write them, but I don't find them to be the same. And then the H's, I also don't find to be the same. There are some parts that I do find. This F, I missed this as well. This F is, I don't find that to be the same. There are some similarities for sure. And then there are some where I'm like, you know. However, you can write like a parent. You know, I have similar writing styles to my mom, and I have a similar writing style to my grandfather. Why do you think different? Why do I think different? What? Don't end it like what? Both print instead of cursive. Let's see. Also, it's easy to fake your handwriting. Many detention notes I signed as my dad. Just a sharp boomerang of an R, capital R, the same. That is the same person, in my opinion. She tried to change it, but it bled through. Also, I think you need to allow for different ink delivery, a ballpoint. Yeah, that's a good point. below it, January is different than the Y. They look the same to me. Or Mama wrote the note. I write nothing like my mom. It's almost cursive. It's also possible she's also trying to disguise her handwriting. My daughter is 33 and can still write my signature perfectly. Yeah, I write similar to my mom and my grandfather. My mom's writing is pretty, and my grandparents' handwriting is an older style of cursive. My grandfather wrote in like all capital letters, but he would do big capital letters and then little capital letters. And I just started doing that when I was a kid. And so I did that. Oh, boy. So that's that on that. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, friends, let's recap today what the dates are moving forward, because today is July 6th. So on the 10th is when Ron and Jan have to have their documentation in to Jennifer Giaimo. On the 16th is the meeting of creditors with Jan and Ron. On the 22nd, Lo will be discussing with the judge. They'll be having a trial assignment at 8:45. On the 28th is the tentative auction or foreclosure date for their house. On the 29th is the trial assignment, assuming that we're going to trial, unless she decides to take the plea. And then on August 6th is the tentative 2:30 dismissal hearing for Ron and Jan. So, would explain some changes. That's true. Let's see. Let me go back to the Volo website and see where we will pick up tomorrow. I should have done that first. And then I got to get going. I got to get ready to go pick up my daughter from camp because little Ham is apparently sick. In school, I couldn't sign for my parents. And everybody knew. Yeah. I don't really write in cursive. I write in like a hybrid sometimes. All right, what did we have? May 6th of 2024. So I got to come all the way down here. Okay, we did this and this. Laura requests to testify via written declaration. Okay. So wait, did we read this? She was threatening Marraccini's. We already read this, right? Oh, but yes? No? Oh, no. Okay, we have not read this. So we are going to read this tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, on Wednesday. I'm sorry. We're going to read this on Wednesday. So this is the, so there's no live tomorrow, but there will be a live on Wednesday. So this is July 23rd. And she requests to testify via written declaration. All right, so we have that. Okay, so yeah, no live tomorrow because I have kids and I don't have a babysitter for tomorrow. But I do have her for Thursday, so it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thank you for today. See you around. Thank you, Malin. I have a friend who is a forensic guy, can analyze these letters. I'll do a screenshot and ask him what he thinks. Yes, Charlie. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm off to watch Ducky's vid on Napkin Ladies Chicken Soup for the Soul. Oh, shit. Mac is having a holiday sale. Oh, no. Maybe you should introduce the kids to Laura Owens and bring the... Oh, my God. My son, loves the microphone and the camera, so he would love it. My daughter would be like, hi, and then run away. I'm sure of it. Oh my God. I'm just so tired all the time. I had a long weekend, friends. It was long. It was fun. but it was long. You guys are the best. If you are not already subscribed, please consider doing so. If you haven't already liked the stream, do that too. If you have the opportunity to hype, we appreciate it. Yes, love to all. I guess my precious starts today. Oh my God. If you want to go beyond the comments, we have a members only Discord and we have memberships with a lot of fun perks. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye bye.